The following podcast contains strong language and alternative facts. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Heel Podcast. Over the airwaves and under the influence, we are Turning Heel.
Yeah. Activate. Wait, that's the wrong podcast. What one are we doing? Okay.
Bleep, 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 bleep.
Well, I suppose there is a robot.
That was Griz and Robert style doing the intro for this podcast.
Yeah, 110101110101. Well, that's a nice little cold open, so let's get this shindig started. Hello, welcome to yet another episode of the Turning Heel podcast with me, the Griz. And apparently this week I'm joined by two robots. So let's turn the on switch and activate Chris motherfucking Hughes.
Bleep, bleep, bleep. Whoa, what the fuck? Alright guys, how's it going?
Oh no, he got an electrical surge. He's starting to feel feelings.
How did I get here?
You kind of just fell asleep. Like, ever since the last episode, you've just been sat there on Skype just asleep the whole time. It was weird. Especially since you weren't on the last episode, so just watching you sleep that entire time was bizarre.
Oh, well, alright, fair enough. That really explains a lot, because I don't really remember much of the last week.
Well, someone that does remember a lot more of this past week is Robert the Robot. Activate.
Try and steal my gimmick again and I'll go fucking Skynet on you.
Oh, Griz, I don't want to alarm you, but that's fighting talk.
I know, I've seen the Terminator.
Okay. Conspicuous
To what you may believe. I don't watch anything other than wrestling, but at least I've seen the Terminator.
Okay, cool. Got you, bro.
Well, we're back again for yet another episode of Wrestling Shenanigans, because it's already been a busy week and we are not even halfway done yet. After some announcements being made on one of the shows last night, it looks like WrestleMania weekend. We just may as well do a week's long just string of wrestling consciousness, because what's the point in fucking stopping now?
To be fair, the first carnation of this podcast, we did used to do a podcast every day in the lead up to WrestleMania, so...
Yeah, and I suppose
all they've really done is save us the hassle of having to think of things to talk about every day.
I still just remember that when we done that like UK podcast that one time before NXT UK was even a thing, and it was just us two just kind of bantering on about stuff. It's just like, who would you like to see? And then we had like the old school like World of Sport theme music as the intro. Don't know why that's like the one episode that sticks out of that time.
Yeah. Did we do that one live or did we pre-record that?
We pre-recorded like 4 episodes and like
we done a few live. So I just remember sitting in that hotel room and it was sweltering hot because the aircon didn't work. Drinking fucking 16-ounce cans of fucking Bud Light. Just try to keep myself cool. My camera went off at one point. I don't think I've ever told you this story. My camera got turned off at one point and I said it's because of the shitty hotel Wi-Fi. Nope. Taps off. And then Eddie wandered in and I'm like that, playing with my nipples.
So any long-term fans of the Turning Heel podcast, Robert, there's something, a little tidbit from an episode from about, 3-4 years ago?
Well,
that was WrestleMania 33.
That wasn't a tidbit, it was a titbit.
Which until recently, Chris thought was actually how that was pronounced.
Probably.
So, why don't we get into the festivities of the past weekend by starting off with AEW's Dark Horse's Top 5 Pay-Per-View edition.
Boom. No, that's not what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for.
Hey, nailed it. Beautiful.
Nee.
So before every pay-per-view, AEW loved to do a bonus edition of Dark for reasons. I don't know why, but whatever. So the title of this episode, as I says, this is now going to be the new thing. So this one is called How Will This Special Saturday Night Edition of AEW Dark Impact AEW Revolution? The answer is still won't. Very similar to last week. So the matches on the card consist of the Natural Nightmares taking on Peter Avalon and Cesar Bononi, with Natural Nightmares coming away with a victory there. J.D. Drake with a 0-2 record taking on Chuck Taylor. Azrael with his 0-0 record took on Pentel Zero Miedo. John Skyler with a 0-1 record taking on Lance Archer. Angel Fashion and Fuego del Sol with their 0-0 tag records taking on Brian Cage and Ricky Starks.
Fuego!
Jake St. Patrick with his 0-3 records taking on Jack Evans. Badu and D3 with their 0-0 tag record taking on the Gun Club. Tasha Price with her 0-3 record taking on Thunder Rosa. Cameron Stewart and Ryzen with their 0-0 record taking on Bear Country. Vari Morales and LeBron Cozone. That was a very bizarre surname that I was pronounced differently than the way it reads. So hopefully one of those variations was right. They took on 5 and 10. Layla Gray took on Tay Conti, and in your main event, the Chaos Project took on Matt and Mike Seidel.
Cracking episode of Dark. Absolutely wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Best one yet.
No.
So the quick notes are 3 matches, 3 entrances to the Dynamite theme for JD Drake. After the match, Miro and Kip attacked the best friends, and then Miro cut in a promo. Swole came out during the show pissing and moaning about being the #1 contender last year, and then the ranks resetting and how the tournament is completely irrelevant, a lot like her. And she says whoever wins at Revolution owes Swole. And it's like, okay, go away. You suck. After the Skylar promo, there was a promo after the Skylar match. There was a promo from Snake and Archer, mainly calling out Cody in the lead up to the ladder match where both of them were in, and considering it was for the TNT title. And if you remember, Lance Archer versus Cody was the first final for the TNT title. So the top 5 for this bonus episode of AEW Dark. 3 weeks in a row, JD Drake, my fucking boy. I think I just love this guy at this point. He is up there again. Azrael, because I did not know this dude was still wrestling, because I had seen him wrestle in some random show the Insane Clown Posse appeared in like 2005 or 6, and that was like the last I ever heard of this guy until I watched this episode of Dark. So good to see that he's still going, and it was a pretty little fun match with him and Jack Evans. Jake St. Patrick with another great match. I fucked that up. Azrael took on Penta, not Jack Evans, because Jake St. Patrick took on Jack Evans, which he had a good showing in. Tasha Price, she got picked this week because she is very funny at selling and makes like tons of dumb faces. There was a point where Thunder Rosa had her in the submission, and then her eyes just started bugging out of her face, and she was just like, and it amused me highly. And Layla Gray, she had a pretty decent little match with Tay Conti, and I quite like her look, and so hopefully big things are popping. So now, this brings us on to, obviously, next week, the debut of AEW Dark Elevation. So I guess we're going to need to try and see how the top 5 changes.
I think with Elevation, I think Dark will begin back to being just like maybe just under an hour. And then they'll have like an hour of Elevation.
Yeah. If it's going to be a kind of combo of like what Dark used to be, where it really was essentially an extra hour of Dynamite, because every match used to have like some sort of substance until the pandemic happened, and then this is when it started to become kind of, you know, wrestlers versus enhancement talent. So I guess we'll kind of see how that goes back to. But if that's the case where Elevation is going to be what Dark is now, and then AEW Dark will be what Dark used to be, then that's different enough. And then we kind of already have a first match scheduled for Dark. We don't know the opponents, but Matt Hardy did say that his new group of Butcher and Blade and Private Party will be in action on Elevation.
I imagine it will just be 1, 2, 3, and 4.
From Dark Order? Nah,
Yeah.
I think it'll probably be something more important or less important. Less important. That's the one I meant.
3, 4, 5, and 10.
Because 1 and 2 are Uno and Grayson.
3 and 4, Silver and Reynolds. Well, Reynolds is 3, Silver is 4.
Yes.
5's at
Alan
Angels. 8 is Colt Cabana. 10 is Preston Vance. And then 99's Anna J.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So that's what they should do, is they should bring out all the numbers in between.
Do you know,
just
someone pointed out to me recently, right, that, and it's something I'd never thought of, and I really should have thought of it because it's fucking blatantly obvious, but I was like, that's actually quite a nice touch. -1 is basically the de facto leader of the Dark Order now.
Yeah, we discussed. Yeah, we said that last week, that he was referenced as the leader of the Dark Order on Dark last week.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Ah, there you go. Well, someone had just said to me, like, just for watching the show, because like it's always him that's giving the orders and all that, and I'm like, oh yeah, good point. Never thought of that. That's
He
nice.
definitely is his father's son.
Yep. Stepped into the family business.
They just need them papers.
Which he did whip out one time.
Yeah, the tribute show.
Yeah. Or was it his birthday?
I think there wasn't really much of a difference between his birthday and the tribute show.
Yeah, there was like two weeks in between the two of them.
2 weeks between the two.
Yeah.
I think the papers were thrown, but I think it was John Silver that threw the papers on the tribute show. I think it was -1 that threw
Because
them
he
on
was
his
dressed-
birthday.
He was dressed up as Brody on that show because he had the kind of tribute
Right.
gear.
Aye, because Brody bought him that gear to do a bit on being the elite that they never got to film.
Oh. I know, because I was thinking, like, I was still watching BTE at that point, and I was like, I don't remember seeing that gear.
Yeah, they never had a chance to film that.
That fucking sucks.
They should be changing the name anyway to BTDO, because basically it's all about the Dark Order now anyway.
Yeah, they should just have their own spin-off show. I would totally watch that more. Sorry, I just realised that I was literally sitting there in the dark, and it's like the AEW dark. So I was like, why don't I put on the light?
I feel that that's the only way you can talk about dark in the dark.
Yeah, exactly. Now that that's over, I can
I
turn the light
watched
on.
the one match from Tuesday in the dark.
Well, fuck it. Why don't you enlighten us with that match? Because I know you've been waiting for that match for ages.
Yes.
And then we can revisit it.
We can
on the
get
next
to
episode.
it after Revolution if we're doing things in chronological order.
Well, since we're still talking about dark, it
Right.
might make more sense. So go for it. This is your time to shine. This is your dark top one of the
My
week.
dark top one of the week. Fucking Fuego del Sol. Love the Fuego! Basically, Fuego's been trying to get a match with QT for months on Sammy Guevara's vlog, to the point where they even took it to Nightmare Factory general manager Glacier to get it booked on one of the showcase shows. And Glacier said there's no place for it. It's a stupid match, blah, blah, blah. But then Fuego showed up at one of the showcases and basically got jumped by the Nightmare family and QT pinned him.
Oh no.
But they didn't really count it as a match. So for months he's been chasing him, telling him about the Tornado DDT, and QT's kind of been shite in his cell, then coming up with reasons why the match can't happen. Oh, I've hurt my knee. Oh, I've done this. I was just in a bunkhouse brawl. Oh, no, it's not. Nobody wants it to happen. And then Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone showed up on Sammy's vlog with a paid ad.
Really?
Yeah, and announced the match. But the way that they done it, it was Sammy sent him a video on his phone, and he was watching it on his phone, but we were seeing the actual video, and then it would pan out of him watching the video and getting dead excited that he was finally getting to fight QT. And he kept saying, only takes one Tornado DDT to beat you, one Tornado DDT to beat you. But as Griz knows, he has never hit the Tornado DDT.
Sure hasn't.
So it just, for all the build-up it had, it kind of just felt like an enhancement match. But there was just a wee bit more to it than there would be normally. It wasn't as if it was like Cutler versus Avalon.
Yeah.
It wasn't as big as that, but there was still something behind it. So the match kind of goes the way that you would think it would go. QT sort of dominating the whole thing. Until Fuego hits the Tornado DDT. It hit him with an amazing Tornado DDT. Basically, he jumped off the top rope and swung round and done the DDT. And the momentum from the DDT basically threw QT Marshall outside the ring.
Oh no.
Oh no, yes. So then he finally picks him up, rolls him back into the ring, climbs up to the apron. He'd then do a springboard Tornado DDT. It gets caught into the diamond cutter. And it kind of looked a bit meh. So QT picked him up again and done the diamond cutter again, got the 3. But Fuego still wins because he finally hit the Tornado DDT.
That's a victory all in itself right there. And also the only podcast that covers Dark every single week. You're welcome, guys.
Are we actually?
Pretty much, yeah. That I can think of.
The B podcast covering the B show.
There's probably a podcast out there somewhere that just does AEW and that's it. So they probably do Dark, but we go out of our way to do Dark, and we talk about a lot of other things.
What you're saying is B team, go, go, go.
Absolutely.
G team, go, go, go.
TH, go, go, go. There you go. Beautiful. Okay, so now we move on to the main show. AEW's Revolution's buy-in. And your main event of the buy-in for the evening is Rio and Thunder Rosa taking on Dr. Britt Baker and Reba. So Dr. Britt Baker comes out first and says that Reba was attacked by Nyla Rose and wouldn't be able to compete in the match. Reba comes out with crutch, and Britt Baker says, I have the right to pick a replacement. Don't know if we can even get it out. Somebody else say it.
Ito-chan!
Wow! Oh my god. That was my main event right there.
I fucking popped when I was watching this live, but it wasn't like, oh shit, it's Makito. It was, oh shit, Griz is gonna love this!
Oh, and I did. Like, I was sitting there so
as soon as she came out, I put into the group chat, the buy-in is a must-watch.
Yes.
Yep. And I'm so glad you did, because I really wanted someone to talk to about the pay-per-view whilst it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think anyone was up. Then you put that up, and I was like, yes, someone to talk to.
Yes. So partway through this match, Excalibur mentioned that Maki Ito was wrestling 44 hours before in Japan. Maybe something you should keep to yourself.
There's no
quarantine.
There's no quarantine in America.
Ah, okay.
And plus, even if there is, they would probably fall under the elite athlete rule. Which means they don't have to quarantine.
Interesting.
But whereas if she was to go from America to Japan, she would have to quarantine for 2 weeks because they are still in a declared state of emergency.
Oh, the game for the PS2.
Aye.
Yeah. Yes, there's no quarantine in America in the state. Well, in Florida there isn't. I don't know about the rest of the states. I'm kind of talking out of turn there. I don't know exactly the rules, but I know it varies from. I mean, that's why WWE moved WrestleMania to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Papa Joe will have something to say about that.
Papa Joe?
Joe Biden.
Oh,
President of the United States.
Papa Joe.
I know, it's when he said Papa Joe, it just made me really want pizza.
I had a weird dream during the week that he died. Don't know why.
Papa Joe or
Papa John?
Oh, Papa Joe. Papa John's proper fucking lost the plot.
Oh, he's off his tits.
Oh, aye.
That's an episode.
Guys, you look so confused.
That's an episode for a happening.
You really don't listen to side stories, do you? They cover all his craziness as it happens. He is an absolute fucking lunatic. Like, to the point where he got thrown off the board to Papa John's. Like, they voted him off because they were concerned about the image he was creating. And fucking... Then he started eating Papa John's every day for like 3 months to prove a point and all that. It was fucking mental. It's like it's going to. He's literally. He is going to walk into a school with a fucking AK-47 one of these days. He really fucking is.
I suppose it's just a good job the fact that like there's nobody in the schools right now. Or are they back?
They're going back.
No, but Papa John is American, obviously. They probably still are in school. They probably were never not in school.
No,
yeah. I just realised that was a really shitty joke to make about a fucking school massacre, so I retract that statement. I apologise. But Papa John is fucking losing the plot.
I think it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's probably a bit tasteless to say, but at the same time, it's probably one of those things where like it probably is accurate in a way to go and show how kind of loony this fucking dude sounds like he is these days.
Honestly, look it up.
Podcast do not condone the comments from Chris motherfucking Hughes. He has now been cancelled. He can now join the unemployment line with Pepe Le Pew.
Oh, and Lola Bunny's tits, apparently. I mean, it doesn't see a point in going to see that film anymore.
You're not going
let's
to see
move on.
LeBron James.
LeBron James. Yes, let's move swiftly on. Speaking... Nope. So during the match, Maki misses the headbutt. Finally tags in Baker because Maki started the first half of this match for in it for a long time. There's a drop kick and into the corner, and then a butterfly suplex by Rosa, which is then followed up with a senton for trois. Ito hits the
for three.
Takeshi.
For deux, you mean?
For deux. Shit. Isn't there? I don't know. We've digressed.
Trois. Quatre, six, cinq, dix, neuf, dix. Is that right?
C.
Yes!
There's French.
Go fuck
There's
me
you struggle
there.
to count to 10 in English. You've no chance in French.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There.
Well done.
Thank you. Io hits the Kokeshi headbutt for 2. Rosa with a stunner, and then Riho in with a flying knee. That she. Hold on, notes. Jesus Christ. Rio in with a flying knee. There's a flying splash by Ito, but that misses. Rio goes for the running knee, but Ito counters into a half Boston, which looked badass. Baker hits an air raid crash for 2. Reba then gets up on the apron. Rosa says Baker into Reba and then connects with the DVD. Io breaks it up, and then she is sent out the ring and then tackled by Riho. Brett hits a super kick, and then Reba uses the crutch to sock Rosa in the face. And Maki Ito wins her debut match in actual real life AEW.
Woohoo!
Also Brett Baker
Brooklyn
wins.
as a whole.
It sure is. I actually did find the English translation of the lyrics online.
So
that's
is
fun.
she actually saying Brooklyn as a whole?
Yes.
Yay!
It's a very kind of...
As a whole or
sad
as
song.
a whole?
As a whole.
Because there's two very different ways of describing someplace. No, Brooklyn as a whole, man. Or
Yeah.
Brooklyn as a whole is actually quite a nice place. Two very different, tones there.
I know. All it takes is like the change of
One
like
letter.
one letter.
Yep. And this is the new segment, English, with Chris motherfucking Hughes.
Well, yeah, I suppose, that's your segment. And then we've got the Scottish segment with Robert, where each week he teaches us a new Scottish word that I've clearly never heard of.
Well, I was actually messaging someone and they were telling me that they've got a new job where they get paid the same but do half the work. So I responded with, "Oh, so you've won a watch?" And he just kind of looked at me like, "What?" And I was like, "You've won a watch?" And he's like, "What does that mean?" And then I thought to myself, how do I describe this? I know what it means, but it's hard to describe. So I then had to go to Google to try and find out the origin. And it
Google
supposedly
say,
comes from Lanarkshire,
okay.
and it basically means you've come out winning. Like, you've won, like, oh, you've won a watch, here's your bonus. You won a prize.
I guess it must be kind of like in the term of if you win a watch, say at like the carnival, like you've actually won something of worth.
Yes, you've won a bonus, you won a prize.
Mm-hmm.
Had you ever heard the phrase you've won a watch?
Nope. I have not. So there you go.
My segment for the week. Dunsies.
Yeah, but rifling through these segments. So we started the main pay-per-view with M. Jericho F taking on the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team Championships.
This was a fucking belter.
So the first note that I actually have of this line is, hey look, a match in a blood feud that starts with the faces attacking the heels and not a lockup. So you already get points for that.
Yep.
There was double sharpshooters early on by the Bucks, with MJF stopping Jericho from possibly tapping out. There was a double vertical suplex with the middle fingers by M. Jericho F. Matt attempts to tag in Nick, but Jericho pulls Nick off the apron, and then M. Jericho F continue to go to work, but there's a double DDT from Matt. And then over the top rope destroyer by Nick that gets close too. Then the Bucks do the Morrissey machine gun style taunt, and then hit the powerbomb slice breads combo for 2. And I wonder if that's a sign of maybe something to come.
I think it was a sign of respect since they had quite a big feud with them back in TNA.
Yeah, but I mean, ever since this kind of AEW Impact sort of like partnership has happened, we've all been clamoring for machine guns on Dynamite, and if they want to do a one-off against the Young Bucks for the belts, then definitely sign us up, because those matches were pretty badass back in the day. But could you imagine, like, that was much more when the Bucks were, less, what's the word? I suppose less experienced in terms of they could do all the flippy shit, but they didn't really exactly know all the kind of in-between stuff back then.
Yeah, like the wee intricacies that make a match more dramatic without having to do flippy shit.
Yeah. So I think like something like that now would be really interesting. I just hope Shelley can come back soon from whatever it is that's wrong with him.
There's nothing wrong with him. It's just he's got a real job.
Oh yeah, shit, you did say that.
He's just off doing his real job.
Well, don't. Take the day off.
Take a day off.
If I can go to AEW, you could probably get paid more than you would for a day at your regular job.
But I think he wants to do both. He's a bit like Britt Baker.
Hmm. Yeah, but Britt Baker always shows up for her matches.
Aye, because Impact does tapings, and it's like they'll run like a week, and maybe he's got appointments that week that he can't make.
Yeah. Yeah. Come back, Shelley. I miss you. I could go for either Shelley, either Alex Shelley or Shelley Martinez.
I think I know what one you would prefer.
Yeah, Alex Shelley.
No, but I was. This match was fucking banging. As you said, the fact that an actual blood feud starts with them just stabbing them in the face in a scrap rather than a collar and elbow tie up.
Yeah. What a noble concept.
Yeah. Who the fuck would have guessed?
So after that, Jericho counters the Meltzer driver into a tombstone, and then Nick flips into the ring and just lands on his ass right in front of Jericho. And didn't look great. I mean, obviously, I get that that was meant to be the spot because then Jericho locks in the walls of Jericho. But I feel like Nick was probably meant to come a bit closer and maybe like land into the move as opposed to landing in front of Jericho. So it kind of made them look a bit dumb. I don't know.
I think he was going for like the jump over the rope face buster that he does.
Yeah. But if that was the case, he definitely undershot it. So, Matt gets the tag and attempts the super kick, but then Jericho catches that and then applies the walls to Matt. Matt fights out and counters a bulldog attempt, but MJF then tags in and gets a few close near falls off a backslide and a powerbomb. There was another Meltzer driver attempt, but Jericho comes in with the code breaker on Nick. As MJF gets another roll up for really close too. Jericho has the bat and smashes it over Matt's back, and then MJF with the heat seeker. But that only gets two. Blah. Jericho gets the double kicks in the corner from the Bucks, and MJF is sent to the floor. Double dives from the Bucks. Jericho attempts a Judas effect, but collides with Wardlow, who was on the apron. There was a lion salt that was countered in a double super kick. The BTE trigger. But MJF breaks that up, and then there's a super kick party from the Bucks, sets up Jericho for the Meltzer driver, and the Young Bucks retain.
The Destroyer spot in that match was one of the best Destroyer spots I've ever seen. I fucking loved it.
Very fluent.
Yeah, I think so, because we haven't really seen one in a couple of weeks. It made that one like, holy shit! Look what happens when you don't do the same shit all the time.
And then we get another one in like 3 matches.
Yeah.
Although that, well, when we get to that, Jesus.
Monkeys.
I suppose obviously now, knowing the outcome of this, I'm not surprised that they didn't win, but I kind of feel like going into this, I genuinely thought that M Jericho F were going to win this.
And I didn't think they were. I thought that if the Young Bucks were going to win, it would be because Sammy's fucking over MGF.
Mm-hmm. Which didn't happen either, bizarrely.
No. Very surprised.
But we obviously find out on Dynamite why it didn't happen, because it was a plan all along.
Mm-hmm. So we move on to the Casino Tag Team Battle Royal, which is the first ever Tag Team Royal Rumble, essentially.
Yeah.
Which I actually very much enjoyed. So the rundown goes as follows. Entry number 1 was The Natural Nightmares and the generic as fuck theme song. Entry number 2 was 5 and 10 of Dark Order, with entry number 3 being Pride and Powerful. 5 gets eliminated by the Diamond Card from QT. Entry number 4 was Matt and Mike Seidel. Entry number 5 was Dark Order's Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. Mike Seidel gets sent out by Pride and Powerful. Entry number 6 was the Gun Club. And then Matt Seidel gets eliminated by Pride and Powerful. Entry number 7 was Pierre Avalon and Cesar Bononi, with number 8 followed up by the Varsity Blondes. Pierre Avalon gets eliminated by the Gun Club. And then Gun Club get eliminated by QT Marshall. And then Dustin starts getting in his face. And then QT just goes, all right. And then just throws himself over the top rope and leaves.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
I like it.
I mean, I can see where Dustin is coming from. Keep your allies in the match.
Yeah, because it was the whole thing. Is like, yeah, they're part of the Nightmare family. What are you doing? And QT's just like...
Somebody pointed out something that we'll talk about once we get to Dynamite.
Okay. Entry number 9 was my pick of Bear Country. So there was a pile driver on Santana on top of Pillman from Bear Country. Grayson muscles up a member of Bear Country, but the Bears then send Grayson out. Entry number 10 was the Jurassic Express. And then Ortiz gets eliminated by Jungle Boy. Luchasaurus eliminates Cesar Bononi. Jungle Boy takes out Ortiz. And then Marco Stunt botches Evil Uno out the ring.
Evil Uno tried his best to make that work.
He tried so hard. Like, props to fucking Uno.
Shout out for Uno.
Uno should always get a shout out.
Because Uno's the shit, man.
Oh, yeah.
Check out Uno on YouTube for his gaming channel.
And he does that charity stream every year with the
New Legacy guys.
New Legacy, yeah, that word that clearly I can't say. Jesus Christ. Entry number 11 was Butcher. It's clear that like I can't say words unless they're written down on my screen. It's like that scene from Scary Movie 3 where the news reporter and the teleprompt where he'll just read everything.
You mean the rip-off of Bruce Almighty?
I don't remember that from Bruce Almighty.
Bruce fucks with the teleprompter, and it makes I was about to say Steve Harvey. No, wrong Steve.
Jim Carrey.
No, the guy from The Office.
Steve Carell.
He's doing the thingy, and he's basically just reading off the prompter, and Jim Carrey changes it all, and he ends up just reading everything off the prompter.
All right.
That's where the joke for Scary Movie came from. It was spoofing it.
Huh. I always thought that Scary Movie 3 came before Bruce Almighty.
No.
Because I don't remember that from Bruce Almighty, to be honest. But I have seen Scary Movie 3 probably more times than I've seen Bruce Almighty, to be honest with you. Keith and Kirsten blocking bracket. Butcher and Blade were entry number 11 with Butch taking out Pillman, and then Jack Evans pulls 10 off the apron, and then they say, "Oh, he's not in this," and so this now has just kind of alarmed me to the fact that Angelico has just disappeared.
Maybe I'll be back home.
No, come back, Angelico.
Luchasaurus, Barcelona.
Yeah, he lives in Barca.
It's not exactly a quick flight away. Because if he's gone back to Barcelona, he probably ain't getting back to fucking the States anytime soon.
I suppose. Kind of why they've kind of paired up Jack Evans with Matt Hardy at this point.
You would think, though, that if he'd got a contract with AEW, he'd have moved to the States. Or at least had somewhere in the States to live. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I would have thought. Because it kind of seems like, again, kind of chiming ahead a little, the fact that Matt Hardy's now brought in 2 other people into his sort of group, and it's like, that was clearly meant to be TH2's spot. But because
Angelico we'll get to who he's brought in once we talk about Dynamite, but it doesn't make any sense who he's brought in.
No.
But it gives them something to do since someone has patched them and now turned face.
That's true.
Well,
would it be that difficult just to leave them alone and just let them be Butcher and Blade and Bunny again?
I don't know.
Well, if you leave them just the 3 of them like that, they'll end up just on dark all the time like they were before.
Or, here's an idea, build them up.
Yeah. You have them go back to remember when MGF was paying them off to do his dirty work? Just put them back to essentially hitmen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, in fact, there's a lot to actually unpack there, so let's try and remember that for when we get to Dynamite. So Butch takes out Pillman, Jack Evans pulls 10 off the apron, and then Luchasaurus, Butcher, Blade, and Bunny all eliminate Dustin Rhodes, which was really weird for Luchasaurus to kind of be involved in that sort of skirmish.
Why, he's not Nightmare Family. He just wants rid of someone.
He just
not.
wants to win the match.
I know, but at the same time, it was like, you had Butcher and Blade, big beefy fucking Butch. Like, I think he was probably going to go out, and then you have Luchasaurus coming in as well. It's like, that's just kind of unfair. And that's me that doesn't even really care about fucking Dustin Rhodes anymore. Entry number 12 was a private party, with entry number 13 being SCU. They then spoke about in the match how this isn't a match under their plan of we need to keep winning. Bear Country then eliminate Luchasaurus, and then Butcher takes out Bear Country. Wow. Entry number 14 was the Death Triangle, and the Death Triangle take out Mark Quinn and the Blade, with Silver and Reynolds of the Dark Order being your final entrants.
Yay!
They had the Dark Destroyer, not the robot, that takes out Cassidy. SCU take out Butcher. Phoenix takes out Daniels. Reynolds is thrown over the buckles to the floor by Jungle Boy, which looks insane. Pac hits the back suplex that sends Kaz out the ring. Silver and Pac go at it. And I didn't realize that I wanted this until it happened, so please make this a singles match. Phoenix with the tightrope kick that takes out Silver.
Ooh.
Yeah, even Taco doesn't like that. Jungle takes out Pac, and then it's down to Phoenix and Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy is sent to the floor, and Phoenix dives through the ropes and almost shatters the spine on the guardrail and takes out like 13 people at ringside. There's a super kick by Jungle as Phoenix comes off the top, and then a Poison Rana. Phoenix then gets attempted to get thrown out, but he hits the 619 to kind of bounce himself back into the match. And then he takes Jungle over the top rope to win this thing, which means that Death Triangle are now the numero uno contenders.
I watched this match twice just to make sure I caught things that I might have missed. And Chris, you'll be happy to know I finally heard it. The bunny.
Oh no, it's Griz that keeps talking about it, not me. Like,
I thought it was you.
No.
The bunny. No, she pissed me off. I heard it.
Yeah.
Can't unhear it.
As soon as you hear it, you can't unhear it, and it just gets so goddamn annoying.
I'm going to continue not hearing it.
It's alright. The first
It wasn't
episode,
even as if I was listening out for it. I watched the match back to see if I'd missed any cool spots. And then I just heard it on the secretary. I was like, oh, fuck.
Oh, there it is. So backstage, Paul White is asked a bit more about tonight's debutee.
Big scoops, Paul White.
It's a big scoops. And he says, I don't think the one hint I'm going to give is that I don't think anyone can outwork him.
Yeah, that wasn't a... That was a shite clue.
Oh, no.
That's his new gimmick, shite clue, Paul White.
To be fair, he said he couldn't give a clue. Like, he was asked for a clue. And he said, I can't give you a clue, but what I will say is the new signee's here to outwork everybody. Because they're obviously trying to get that fucking catchphrase over.
Well, that works as well. No clue, Paul White.
And then also the fact that like that just continued to fuel the whole thing of making me think it was Kurt Angle, which I think was probably slightly meant in a way.
Let's face it, right? Any sort of free agent wrestler was fucking throwing themselves out there teasing this.
Yeah.
Although to be fair, Angle gets the award for the most convincing one.
Because he actually made a fucking video.
Aye. Which makes me think there is something coming up with Angle soon.
There's an Angle with Kurt. No, okay.
Or there's a Kurt with Angle.
What if it turns out it's Eric Angle?
Oh! Wait, did he not die?
No.
I'm sure he did.
Don't
Hi
think so.
ho, it's off to Wikipedia I go.
I'm doing the same.
I know that the third Angle brother murdered somebody.
No, he's still alive.
I'm pretty sure there was I don't know if it was a brother, it was definitely a relative of Kurt Angle's that murdered someone.
It's Eric Angle to be sentenced after pleading guilty to dark web drug charges.
Well, that's news.
Yes, from last January.
Yeah. Man, we're a steamy cold take with that one. Well, we'll move on to Hikaru Shida versus Ryo Mizunami for the AEW Women's World Championship. So, I thought that Ryo was messing about quite a bit at the start of this match, doing her usual taunts and stuff, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like, maybe can try and take this match slightly more seriously. It's for the belt. But then
she wasn't taking it seriously because they've said that they sort of played it up with the story that she doesn't take Shida seriously.
Yeah, there was no respect
She
there.
never has.
Mm-hmm.
Which I quite like, that it's not just she won the tournament so they're having a match. It's a bit more deeper than that.
It's more personal.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think during the build-up, Mizunami said something kind of along the lines of, I was about to retire, and then AEW started, and this just gave me a new platform to beat you on.
Yeah. Because they also said that when Shida started, Ryo told her, you will never, ever be able to beat me. Never. Doesn't matter how long you wrestle for, you will never beat me. And then Excalibur said the 3 times I've wrestled, it's either been Rio's won or it's ended in a draw.
Yeah. Like, Excalibur done exceptional work through this whole tournament, to be honest, but
Yeah.
he also came through to this as well. There was, speaking of which, there is a point where Excalibur accidentally said these two women, pardon me, during the match. Shida with a reverse pile driver on the stage, folding up Rio. Rio starts working with the headbutts and then hits a big lariat. Rio then spikes Shida with a kind of Rikishi driver for 2. Shida hits a running knee, but Rio just gets right back up. Both keep the wrist control and then just start boshing each other in the face. Uranage.
No, Uranagi.
No, Uranage?
Yeah, you're both Aggies.
I don't have to take this, all right? I have to take this one once again.
I believe you do have to take it.
For this episode, I kind of do. Because you're the one recording. Uranage by Rio, and then a spear set up for the leg drop, which only gets 2. Shida counters another driver, and but could hardly follow up from it. This is kind of when Rio kind of had her up, and then Shida done a sort of roll through, and then just let go. There's a German suplex by Shida, but Rio pops back up again and hits the lariat to the back of the head. The Tamashi to the back of the head and a Falcon Arrow. She's done the deal, but only gets 2.
But Shida no one kicks out the Falcon Arrow.
You're right. No one does. Shida gets another running knee, and then just goes for a poke to the eyes and then a roll up for 2. Shida goes for another knee, but Rio counters again for an insanely close 2 count. There's a Tamashi again, and Rio kicks out. And then there's a spinning knee by Shida that finally puts Rio away. And I don't know if this is meant to be like kind of a new finisher for her. I'm kind of hoping it is, but it's one of those things where, like, if you're going to break out like a new finisher, like, I feel like you needed to at least have it in one match beforehand, because I can't help but feel as if the end of this match was just very slightly flat from that move.
Yeah, it just kind of felt duh.
It was like, oh, well, that's over. But I very much enjoyed this overall. And I'm hoping that, you know, the few people that are over from Japan stay here for a period, because this has really invigorated the women's division.
Yeah, it has. It's given them the oomph that they need right now.
Very quickly, while Chris is away, there was a Stardom show recently, and Julia has lost her hair.
I don't know how far you're ahead, but I've also seen that she's lost her belt.
Yes, she'd lost the 2 of them in the same match to, you know, everyone's sweet little Myers cosplay. Tamu. I am still behind, but like, I've heard the result and I've seen the result, and you know, now Julia is going in a kind of different way with like changing her look and all that to go with the new hairstyle.
Yeah, so she's sort of reinvigorated, or not reinvented. Sorry.
Yeah. Aye. So the sooner I fucking can catch up on Stardom, the better. Let's make it happen. Let's get this this old Griz Nook up and running, the Griz Cave, and start binge watching some Stardom. So backstage, there was an interview with Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy, and then Miro and Kip attack, sending Chuck face first through a window. Then they drag out Chuck Taylor onto the ramp, but Miro's theme music starts playing, and then Griz and Robert starts just ringing us the match as normal, and then he realizes what's going on, which is very odd. Miro then on the mic says, "Just say the word and I'll make it stop." And then Chuck Taylor says, "Ring the bell," and gives a soft slap to Miro. Chuck manages to get a knee strike that takes down Kip at one point, and Orange Cassidy finally makes his way to the entrance, but collapses on the stage. So Miro starts climbing up the ramp, and that's when Orange kicks up and hits the orange punch. And then there's a diamond DDT from the top that gets two. Orange tries to go for the beach break, but his back gives out. There's a tilt-a-whirl DDT by Orange, and Chuck makes the tag. And then they hit the stomp beach breaker combo. And then a pile driver by Chuck, but Miro breaks the count. Orange and Miro are in with Orange doing his light hits. And Orange gets a stun dog millionaire, and then the orange punch again. But Penelope Ford on the apron till Miro sends Orange into Penelope. Then the kick and a spinning slam from Miro. This is this is the point where Miro realizes that Kip is still the legal man, and he's out on the floor attending to Penelope. So he grabs Kip, throws him in the ring, makes the tag. Miro gets in, and Kip just goes right back out to attending to Ford. Miro hits the Machka kick and then locks in the game over, which he kind of just holds for a second and then wrenches right back. Chuck Taylor taps out and is over.
Finally.
Miro looked like such a fucking beast.
Finally.
Yeah, you see, finally.
And it's also the start. It's going to be the start of the breakup of Miro and Kip as well.
Yeah, it's clear he does not give a fuck about Penelope.
Yep.
And that's the way he should be. He shouldn't be giving a fuck about anyone but himself.
Exactly. I mean, now that the wedding and everything's done, like, I can't think of really much else that he's needed for in this group.
Nah. So as if they're going to be going for the tag titles. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And Kip got new gear.
Did he now? I did not notice. Sorry.
He always wore like the wee shorts, but now he's got tights.
Oh, right. Wow.
That could also be an indication of Kip starting to take it a bit more seriously now for the breakup. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nah, if Kip was taking it more seriously, he would have went for shorts to pants.
Is that how serious it gets?
Well, in the history of wrestlers who move up the card, their tights seem to get shorter.
Oh, well, what about... What's Kevin Thorne's excuse then?
A la Jericho.
Yeah. A la Jericho. Triple H.
What about Bobby Lashley? How's went the opposite way?
It did,
he only started wearing...
Right. There's exceptions to the rule. Kofi Kingston was the one that really fucked me. Because he went from pants to shorts to tights, then he wins the fucking belt. So since Kofi Kingston, it doesn't really count.
Yeah, and then Kevin Thorne in ECW, he went from long tights and an awesome looking waistcoat and tie and everything. Then the next week he came out in a weird singlet, and then the next week he came out in just pants, and then the next week he came out off a job because he got released. But everyone was wondering, like, every week Kevin Thorne's coming out with less and less clothes on. Is he going to come out naked next week? Guess we'll never find out.
Yeah. Although that would be my gimmick.
Naked Man?
Naked Man.
Naked Man.
2 out of 3 times.
2 out of 3 companies, it works. So there's an M. Jericho F interview backstage as Alex asks what's next. Fucking hell, that was a sentence. As Alex asks what's next. Just be glad I'm not one of those people that has the whistle when they say their S's.
Well, Alex asked what's next.
Alex asked what? No, it's just Sean Connery. Jericho says, "Oh, we're going to have a war council on Dynamite," and MJF says, "Yeah, it's time for a change that could make the inner circle better." Ooh. In the big money match, Matt Hardy took on Hangman Page. So Hangman injures his hand early on in the match. Hangman then gets a roll-up later on where Hardy's shoulder was not even close to the mat. Because that's his name. Hardy with a twist of fate on the floor. Hardy hits a German while Hangman tried to fight it off by holding the ropes, but his injured hand wouldn't let him. Page hits a discus forearm and then a second, sending both to the outside. There's a moonsault from the top to the floor by Page. Hardy gets a splash mountain for 2. Hangman then hits the Deadeye, but Private Party are out. So Hangman takes them out and then attempts the buckshot, but Hardy hits a side effect. And then the twist, but only for 2. Dark Order then come out, jump Private Party. And Hardy knocks Page off the apron, but into all the waiting hands of the Dark Order that just lift him back up. There was a podcast I was listening to where someone described it as the Dark Order were like Pikmin, helping out Adam Page. And since, I love the Pikmin games, I appreciated that highly. So good call on that one. Then Page hits the buckshot, and it is over. Then there's a big old grip hug by the Dark Order, and Colt Cabana brings out 2 beers.
2 beers is not going to be enough for Hangman.
But Hangman gave Colt one of the beers, and Colt doesn't drink. And then,
Nice.
and then I seen Uno grab it out of Colt's hand, going like that. No, 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 no.
Not for you. No, no, no. We move swiftly on to the face of the Revolution ladder match as Cody Rhodes, Penta El Zero Miedo, Scorpio Sky, Max Caster, Lance Archer, and All Ego Ethan Page.
I was very happy, and so was Chris, because the 2 of us messaged each other right at the exact time, going, "Yes!"
Going to be interesting to see what he does from here.
But the thing was, I never even suspected him. I actually totally forgot all about him.
I know, out of sight, out of mind. And the way that Excalibur specifically said Ethan Page is all elite, it just kind of goes to show that he's definitely like 100% signed, and it's not just a kind of
a one-off.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And hopefully we'll get to see him have a couple of other Impact matches as part of the deal.
I don't think so.
I don't either.
It was very, very sour on his departure.
Yeah, very disgruntled.
Yeah. True.
Because that was the first thing I thought, but then it was like, oh yeah, but he was raging about the Karate Man thing.
Maybe if it happens on EW, maybe if they bring in Josh Alexander for like a one-off.
Well, see, that's what I want. I want to see him versus Josh Alexander because it never happened at Impact.
And that's what they were wanting for the last match.
Yeah.
That's what both of them were wanting.
I know, and it was kind of in that way that now Josh Alexander is the face, but he was still kind of working as the heel of the 2 of them because Ethan Page started doing the Karate Man thing close to the end, and that kind of turned him a bit of a comedic face. So, and then obviously now Josh Alexander working as the face in Impact.
Mm-hmm.
It probably would have been a bit weird, but obviously you could have just easily made Page the heel and not brought in Karate Man and all that kind of hoopla to.
But that's the thing. Page didn't want to do Karate Man on Impact.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
Was just an indies thing and for his YouTube.
Mm-hmm. So during the match, Evans makes another run-in to try and help Caster, but 10 takes him out of the ramp. Ego uses the ladder on Cody's shoulder that was still messed up from the Shaq match. Caster then starts using the boombox on everybody, including diving off the apron onto Cody's arm. Page hits a cutter on Archer onto a ladder, then someone uses Archer into the ladder. Page then tries to flip Scorpio Sky up at one point, but kind of drops him, and you see his face bounce off the edge of the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
And then Page just then picks him up and is like, right, no time to worry about your eye. Here we go, power bomb on the ladder. So
such a professional.
Yeah, so Sky goes on top of the ladder that was still had Lance Archer sandwiched in it, which did not look pretty. I mean, it looked pretty, but, you know, in the way of that definitely had to hurt.
Oh, that type of pretty.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Penta with the flipping pile driver on Cody Rhodes, and Cody, I think, may be done at this point. And this is kind of the thing we're alluding to with, obviously, the flipping pile driver. And apparently, obviously, this was a real ladder, so a bit terrifying that you were willing to do a spot like that on an actual legitimate ladder. So before we continue, like, what were your kind of thoughts on this spot? Because it did legit take Cody out for half the match, or actually more to the question, did it actually take him out for the match, or was this part of it?
Nah, 100% it didn't. He was just selling these match with Shaq. And it gave me and Robert the absolute fucking fear because we thought he was going to come back and win. And he really did.
He kept hanging about near the entranceway, and then when he went down the entranceway, you could still see Arn Anderson and all that there at the bottom. So I think we thought that, he's going to come out and fuck somebody that's going to win when the ring's clear, and then he would go up and get it.
Yeah. I'd horrible images of that happening.
Aye. See, when they didn't get taken back, the first thought in my mind was, Cody's going to win, isn't he? And that's what I messaged you. I was like, he's going to win, isn't he? Because that's what they do with these things. They take somebody out the ladder match and they come back.
Yeah.
And obviously, the way that we feel about Cody, we're not going to put anything fucking past him. Of course, he believes he's the face of the revolution.
He absolutely pitched winning that match.
Mm-hmm. He's became what he was basically fighting against. Remember Double or Nothing? He comes out and he starts fucking sledgehammering at Triple H's throne.
Aye.
He's became what he was against.
So, you know, I don't necessarily believe that. Like, I think Triple H is far less fucking spotlight hungry than Cody Rhodes is. Triple H does put people over, right? See this myth that Triple H buries everyone. It's not fucking. That's not the case. But I just get the feeling that with Cody, I think people need to tell him sometimes, like, no, you can't win this time. You win all the time. Like,
yeah,
this guy. Every single match he's in, he pitches himself winning.
Mm-hmm.
It just comes across that way to me. Do you know what I mean?
The thing with Triple H was it was only for 2 years.
Yeah, and that was when there wasn't any really valuable stars. I mean, obviously, the whole Booker T conversation, which is something we could probably make an entire podcast about how Booker should have won at WrestleMania 19. Yes, there's those kinds of arguments, but see, at the same time, like, I don't know, like, there was a lot of people that he faced during that time where it's like, would you really want to see that guy's world champion? Scott Steiner, Kevin Nash. Even Shawn Michaels took it off.
Arguably the only talent that Triple H quote unquote buried was CM Punk.
Yes, in 2011.
Yeah. Yeah, because there was no need for Triple H to win that match.
Well, once they put the stupid stipulations on it, yes, then there was a need. Because I think the stipulation was if CM Punk won, Triple H then is no longer the COO.
Mm-hmm. I know, so you kind of stacked it a bit too much.
Yeah. And there was no stipulation against Punk.
Yeah. So see if they just done it with a stipulation, then it could have been fine.
Yeah.
Although, as much of a fucking absolute train wreck it was going to be, I still wanted to see Kevin Nash versus CM Punk.
I think you're probably the only person that wanted that.
Well, that and I wanted to see Jinder Mahal versus Brock Lesnar.
Or the Beastmaster.
Oh, man. Sometimes you wonder what goes through bookers' heads.
What if?
Oh, sucker. No, not that booker. Oh god, there was one more I was going to. Yeah, like the whole situation that's going on right now. That apparently, Aleister Black is apparently meant to be sitting backstage and catering until his contract runs out because they have nothing for him, and Vince McMahon doesn't see anything in him, and it's like, hello, it's Aleister fucking Black here.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's Alex Brown doing in the Elite Zone?
I think so. Once he,
we talk about end if he goes to AEW.
Once they sacked Zelina, that was kind of like the death knell for him. I think, whereas like, you know what, fuck this. I'll wait out my contract.
Because that and Andrade apparently, and it's like, come on, these are two incredibly talented guys. How can you not think anything for
is
them?
Andrade not injured?
No, apparently he's been ready to go for fucking months. And
he's chilling with Charlotte.
Yeah. But that makes no sense though, as to why it's like, would you really want to piss off Charlotte right now by keeping her fucking man from doing stuff?
Hey, listen, I'm pretty sure Charlotte doesn't give a fuck. As long as she's still the queen, she's happy.
Yeah, probably. I bet you she goes home every week and is just like, I'm the breadwinner.
Yeah. I bet you she goes home and walks about the house with Andrade on a fucking leash on all fours. Bark for me, bitch.
What they do in their own time is none of our business.
A bit there, Chris Hughes.
Me? Not at all.
Aye. Maybe you want Charlotte to lead you about your flat with a leash on.
No Charlotte.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say there's definitely some.
There's a few I'd do it for, but not Charlotte.
Yeah. Shotzi.
Do it for the bunny in the bunny costume. Absolutely.
Well, you're wearing the Blade costume.
No. Then I would be the dog. I was a dog. A dog hugs a bunny. And that'd be the game we'd play. Now that I've managed to horrify all 6 of our listeners, let's move on.
So at one point I thought Cody's head was busted open, which I think it may have been, but maybe they managed to clean that up while he sat at the end of the tunnel clearly in view the entire time, because Jesus Christ, you should just have Cody Rhodes stand at the top of lighthouses, because fucking everybody would be able to see that hair from fucking miles away. Breaks my heart they had to fucking dye his hair back blonde because of continuity for the Go Big show.
Is that why he did that?
Allegedly. That's what I've heard.
That's fucking stupid.
I know, because it's the only reason that you could think of as to why he appeared for 2 weeks with black hair and then just went blonde again for no reason, especially when he cut that pure big promo. It's like, I may have changed my hair color, but I'm still here for you, the fans.
Well, see how for us, the fans, can you game?
Aye. Can you get to fuck, please? Off you pop.
At least Brandy had the fucking decency to get up the duff.
And yet we still have to hear about her every week, even though she's not there.
Exactly.
Take paternity, Cody, and just fuck off.
Yeah, for a year. just be there for your girl. I know it was that thing that we said ever since the start of this whole thing of Brandy announcing she was pregnant, and it's literally made Dustin the fourth most important Rhodes on television. And we said that before anybody else did, and it could not be fucking truer right now.
Yep.
It's just, see, when it comes to that, doing the whole little thing of we're expecting, that was cute. I'll give them that. That was a sweet little moment. But then when they were like, "Oh, we're going to do the gender reveal on the show," and then every week is be like, "Oh, Cody, I'm going to break your arm so you can't hold your baby." And it's like, "Oh, I'm going to get angry at that. Don't you talk about my baby?" And it's like, your baby's not even fucking born yet, so why are you even getting offended?
Here, Cody, I hear you're having a baby.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Ribs.
It's not a baby, it's a baba.
Get in my belly.
Probably the most famous Scottish person in the world. Fat bastard.
I've lost that much weight. My belly looks like a vagina. Which unfortunately is not the case for me. I weighed myself last Sunday and got like the biggest shock of my fucking life. I'm the heaviest I've ever been right now. So I'm going to do something to lose weight, and when I've decided how I'm going to do it, like I'm going to tell everyone about it. So I then have to do it because the pressure's on me to do it. So I'll give you my diet plan in the next week or so. There could be a segment.
If you want to lose weight, just put 1 foot on the scale instead of 2. That's my trick.
I know when I step on the weight, it comes up only one at a time, please.
It was bad, man. It was proper. I decided this week I was going to start a meal replacement diet after I weighed myself. In fact, it was Saturday I did it. So I ordered all the shakes and stuff like that, and they arrived on Sunday for me to start my diet on Monday. So Monday morning, I got up, had my first meal replacement shake for breakfast, and it was strawberries and cream. Now, I don't know who came up with this thing, but I'm pretty sure they've had neither strawberries nor cream, because it was fucking bogging. So I spent like 60 quid on meal replacement stuff, and I've had one shake and threw the rest out, man. It was fucking horrible.
You should make your own. Just get frozen fruit in like coconut water or apple juice or something, and blend it all up and make your own smoothies. Proper filling.
I should probably start doing that.
Yeah. Well, definitely the strawberries and cream thing is just nah. I say whoever came up with it has never had strawberries nor cream.
Are they thrown out, or do you still kind of have them?
No, I still got them, but
I'll pick them up on Saturday.
Yeah, even if it's just for the morbid curiosity of wanting to see what they taste like.
You were hinting at that.
Yeah.
Give me them. Give me them.
Not give me all of them, but give me one because I want to try it.
Aye, don't worry. I'll bring you some airtight arse tam.
Hey,
I don't recommend.
I'm not a tight arse. I'm thrifty. There's a difference. If somebody's not wanting something and they're giving it away, I'll take it.
But it wasn't good. My pal had said to me that I should just try a different flavour because it does work, and I'm like, right, okay, I'll try a different flavour, but I'll do it after my birthday now because I'm getting fucked this weekend. No point in meal replacements when I'm just going to drink till I fucking fall down. Kind of defeats the purpose. So
just because I'm coming over on Saturday doesn't mean you're getting fucked, pal.
I hope so.
Well, you hope you're getting fucked. I mean, that could be your birthday present.
Well, both our birthday presents because it was my birthday yesterday. A joint birthday present.
I need to wait another 3 months. Oh my god, it's only 3 months to my birthday again. Ugh. Stop. Ah. Right. Fuck. Right, let's get back to this. So Scorp gets close to the giant Sonic ring at one point. I should probably mention they were literally reaching for a ring from Sonic the Hedgehog.
I messaged Chris. I was like, really? That is fucking stupid.
Aye. I was going to make a Sonic the Hedgehog joke with you, but I was too tired at that point. I was like pure fight and sleep at that point.
I don't know enough Sonic to make a educated reference.
Well, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I really hope someone falls off this ladder, and then someone makes a gif, and when they hit the mat, all the rings just go. Like, that'd be quality. I'm not going to do it, but it'd be quality if someone did it.
You have to do that. Send it to Botchamania quickly.
Botchamania's already released a good few. Where it was the winners, once the winner grabs the big gold ring or brass ring, whatever the fuck you want to call it, his head then goes into like a sort of bonus level of Sonic where he's just collecting all these rings.
Oh, incredible. Yeah, like during the match, someone should have just started climbing the ladder, and then Excalibur should just went, "Gotta go fast."
Speaking of Sonic, by the way, I watched the Sonic movie. Nowhere near as bad as people made it out to be.
It's good.
Well, I haven't heard anybody say anything bad about it. That was
it got slaughtered when it came out. Proper slaughtered.
Oh no, I enjoyed it.
Fuck you.
So did I. I thought it was quite good.
I thought it was the best rip-off of Detective Pikachu I've ever seen.
Yeah, but
another great movie.
Yes. Now I want to see the fucking creepy Sonic version.
Oh yeah, the original Sonic.
Yeah, the Snyder Cut. But yeah, no. Look, that was the thing. It was like, oh, we're trying to make Sonic look more lifelike, and it's like, well, don't make him look like the fucking games because you're scaring everybody. Not even just children. Everybody is scared of that Sonic.
The one time bitching on the internet actually came to something positive.
I know. Right, that's what we should all do. We should all just get really behind that and get Cody to lose. Because, as you noticed, the only match he's kind of lost recently was that Shaq match where he wasn't pinned.
Yep. And he took a fucking monstrous bump to be taken out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I wasn't able to continue in the match. I went through the two tables and it's like, you landed on.
See, thing is, all right. Right, I'm going to kind of jump ahead a wee bit here, because we're talking about. But seeing Dynamite this week, there was no need for him to be wrestling and enhancement talent. Just have him come out and cut a promo, and then do what they wanted to do. There was no need for him to have a match. Like, he does not need enhanced. That is not how it fucking works. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I talk shite or like,
no, that basically all that match was to add another fucking plus to his win column. That's all that was.
He hasn't had enough of those.
And also, while we're talking about Cody, there was no mention of Shaq and where he went to during the pay-per-view or Dynamite. No, Shaq disappeared. He was in the ambulance and now he's not. Where did he go?
As far as we know, Shaq is still missing.
Yep.
Oh, fuck, that's right. I forgot about that. Very good point.
Have you seen this man? I mean, because it's hard not to, because he's about 18 feet tall.
7'2" muscular black man.
Has he been on Sports Centre since?
Probably. I think he was on it on Sunday. That's why the match didn't happen at the pay-per-view, is because there was that All-Stars basketball
the
game.
NBA game? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why that match didn't happen at the pay-per-view, because apparently that was originally slated for Revolution, but because they had to keep changing the fucking date because of that fucking Logan Paul fight, and then the UFC was the following week, that's why it was on a Sunday.
I don't like Double or Nothings on a Sunday as well. Don't get into this fucking Sunday trend, AW. Back to Saturday, please.
Bad boys. Stop it.
I think it's because the wrestlers get paid double time on a Sunday.
Fucking might be. But get back to Saturday, boys. Come on.
Get your fingers out.
Where everybody
please.
can enjoy it.
Exactly, Jesus. I know, like, I'm already asking for enough Mondays off in my life trying to watch, like, the few WWE pay-per-views that I absolutely have to watch live. And as I can't remember, I probably have brought it up at some point, like, trying to get the Royal Rumble off was a fucking nightmare. And I just ended up needing to stay up and watch it. But at least I know WrestleMania is off, everything's good there. But like, it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, it's difficult to get Mondays off. And especially like when you're a fan of like this kind of sports entertainment, like Sundays just aren't good. So go back to Saturdays.
Yeah, please do.
There was one thing that you had going for you, and it was Saturday night pay-per-views, and now you're starting to fuck that.
Same with TakeOver.
Yeah, that too. Well, yeah, it's going to be on a fucking Wednesday, Thursday this year. This next one. Whatever. Anyway, we'll talk about that in the future. So Caster hits a sunset flip over the ladder onto Paige, and then there's Sky with a splash on a Caster on top of the ladder. Sky is up top, but is sent through a ladder on the outside by Archer, landing on his neck, which looked gruesome, even though that was a rigged ladder. Cody comes back with his belt to a chorus of boos, to right, and then starts whipping Paige off the ladder. There's a suplex by Archer on Cody, and then Caster comes off the ladder with an elbow drop for good measure. There's the blackout onto the ladder onto Max Caster. Ego stops Archer going up and hits a low blow. Paige then hits the Ego's edge, and Jake comes in, takes Paige down with the short arm clothesline, only for Penta to then turn around and pop Roberts in the face. Cody with a horrible looking Cody cutter onto Penta, which even JR's like, wow, I sure was the ugliest looking Cody cutter I ever did see in my life.
Speaking of JR, fucking fair dues to him at Revolution. Started the show with a fucked throat and managed the whole thing. He kept up. And I actually enjoyed his commentary because I felt as though he spoke less because of his throat. And when he did speak, it was actually something of worth.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. It kind of sounded like the way that, like, you know, when you wake up and somebody tries to talk to you and you're just like,
because like on Dynamite he was kind of back to normal. We'll talk more about it when we get there, but I can't even remember who he was talking about because, as you guys know, I've had a shit week in work, so I had Dynamite on in the background. But did he not forget the name of a tag team? They were talking about something, and he was like, when the then Excalibur had to be like, oh, it was these guys. So he went, yeah, I was just messing with you.
It was Christian's entrance. There was
the music hit, and he's like, who's this?
He was like, what the hell is this? And then Excalibur was like, it's...
No, there was that, but there was another bit as well. I think he was talking about... oh, fuck. I'm going to rewatch it properly, but I'll rewatch it next episode. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. But there's a bit where he was talking about a tag team, and he couldn't remember the name of the tag team.
Jeez. Maybe you should have just stuck with the sore throat then. Maybe take a week off. So Penta then responds to the crappy Cody cutter with a chair to the bad arm. Then Scorp gives Penta some of his own medicine with some chair action. Cody and Sky are up the ladder. Sky sends Cody off the ladder, grabs the ring, and gets an S ranking.
Yeah, boy!
Let's find out how he does this Wednesday on Dynamite, which we'll cover right after this. So it is now time to find out who will join AEW. The man who is here to sign his contract for All Elite Wrestling. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Da, na, na, na. Evanescence rip-off theme. It's Christian Cage.
It's what?
It's TNA theme they played, and it's a rip-off of an Evanescence song.
Ah, okay. I knew it was his TNA
Lawler.
theme tune, but I didn't know it was a rip-off of an Evanescence song.
Yeah.
The only reason I knew it was his TNA theme is because I listened to Minoru sessions this week, and he'd mentioned that.
Minoru?
No, oral sessions.
Renee.
Renee's podcast, yeah.
No, but like you say that, but now I want a podcast where Minoru Suzuki interviews people called the Minoru Sessions.
The Minoru sessions.
By interview them, you mean he says hello, then beats them up?
Yes, every episode lasts about 5 minutes.
Fuck, I'd pay him then for that.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, like,
You could put that behind the paywall.
like, yeah, he asked them one question, they start to answer, and then he just pops them in the face and then puts them in a chokehold.
I had a realisation about Christian, right? I said to you guys last week I'd be really disappointed if it was Christian because I wanted to see him and Edge have one more run, right?
Yeah.
But I've had a realisation about that. And I still...
Was it what I said?
No. I still stand by that I want to see Edge and Christian have one more run, right? I wanted to see that. However...
Or you could say that you want to see Edge and Christian have one more match.
However...
that was clearly a Christian reference that...
Well, I think he got it. I think he was just sandbagging you.
No, I didn't get it, to be fair. Now you mention a Christian reference, I get it, but now that I think about it, right, had Christian not been in the Royal Rumble this year, I would have lost my shit.
One of the most heartbreaking things that I've seen since then was the picture of the two of them hugging in the middle of the ring. And it's saying...
this wasn't a reunion, it was a goodbye.
It was a goodbye, and I just went, oh, my heart, oh, my wrestling heart, which is next to my real heart. Oh.
But what I find really confusing, right, is all the people at the Royal Rumble when Christian came out, oh my God, it's fucking Christian, oh my God, are the same people, right, that have now went, well, that was a bit of a disappointing signing. Make up your fucking mind. Do you like the man or do you not?
Well, in my case, when Christian came out the Rumble, I was just like, if you close your eyes, your life, naked truth revealed. And then Chris was like, seriously? And I was like, what? And I went, oh, fuck, it's Christian.
That was quite funny, actually. It just went, didn't go over your head. You knew the music, but you just didn't click.
I was just jamming it with the theme music.
I know I've mentioned this in the podcast before, but I'm going to mention it again. I also called that for the Rumble.
Yeah, you did.
I was talking to... I'm going to keep referring to it. I was talking to Chris on Sunday while the pay-per-view was on, and I noticed a pattern. It just clicked in my head when he came out. There's a pattern here. Right. 2005, October, Christian leaves WWE and jumps to TNA and shows up in the November.
Yes.
Edge wins his first WWE Championship 2 months later. Right. Now Christian's jumped again from WWE to another company. And Edge is in fucking prime position to win the Universal Championship.
Well, I know I'm putting my on at WrestleMania.
I think it's an absolute cert. Edge is winning it at WrestleMania regardless whether or not Christian was
maybe
there.
Maybe not, because do you not remember that year we were all dead set that Roman Reigns was beating Brock Lesnar?
They're not going to do that again this quickly. And to be fair, this is Edge's. This is like Edge's crowning moment that he was supposed to get last year with Orton. Do you know what I mean? Didn't happen because of the pandemic.
Yeah,
So I
but
think he's going to get it this year.
But was that not also supposed to be Roman's crowning moment? But it was interrupted by Rollins 3 years earlier when they done the cash in.
Fair point. I'll give you that. I think the difference is though, this is Edge coming
last
back
year
after
was-
10 years though.
last year was meant to be Roman Reigns' crowning moment when he was meant to beat Goldberg for the Universal title, and then Braun.
You ever
Who
heard
was
Braun's
that?
story about that?
Yeah, apparently he was like miles upon miles upon miles away.
Yeah, he'd driven like 1,200 miles because he was told he didn't have a match at WrestleMania. And then Roman decided he wanted to go home which is fair. He didn't feel comfortable being around about and stuff.
Legit reasons.
Yeah, which is fair. So then they called up Braun, and he'd literally only like just got to his like ranch or wherever he was going. He'd only been there a couple of hours, and they're like, "Yeah, you need to come back," and he had to drive like 1,200 miles back.
I think like they got a jet sorted out for him or something, but it was like, where's your closest like airport? And then it's like it's a good couple hours drive away. And it's like, okay, get there ASAP and we'll send the jet.
Yeah. Oh, kind of a spoiler for NXT, just talking about jets, right? Kind of a spoiler. In fact, it depends how you look at it. It's a spoiler for something happening in NXT. Devlin done a promo, like on his phone, from Dublin Airport.
It's happening. Big damn time.
Yep.
See now that NXT Takeover is going to be a 2-night event, I feel like that kind of needs to be one of the night's main events.
If you built up to it.
No. I can probably already tell you the two main events.
Okay, go for it.
Judging by the way that the way NXT went off the air.
Okay, right. Give me 2 seconds. No.
Like, obviously, night one will be Cole and O'Reilly.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
And night two will be Cross versus Balor.
Yeah.
Right, you're safe.
You're okay, Griz. Griz, look at the screen.
Come back.
You're safe.
Come back.
You're safe.
Done?
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
Okay, go. Well, we will discuss that on the next episode.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Let's all
Definitely.
go, but Chris doesn't know. Do da.
So
Yeah, Christian. If Christian wasn't in the Royal Rumble, I would have lost my shit when he came walking out there. But he was saying, like, on Renee's podcast about why he signed with AEW. And the reason was that the offer he had from WWE was kind of more of a part-time thing. And he said that he's not wrestled in 7 years. Like, he still feels like he can go full-time, and he didn't want to be that part-time guy that fans resent. And AEW offered him something long-term, full-time, and that's what he went with. So fair play to him. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, John Moxley basically got his foot in the door.
Aye. Yep. I didn't realise they were such close friends in real life.
Neither did I.
apparently there was a lot of people that were kind of vouching for Christian. I think FTR was also a name that came up.
Yeah. But apparently Moxley and Renee was the first two people who told they'd been cleared to wrestle again. Like, they're super close, and I had no idea they were as close as they are. But there you go.
I mean, not to just be like, they're both Canadian, but maybe partially because they were both Canadian, as maybe how the friendship with Christian and Renee kind of started, because they probably would have like kind of similar Canadian interests. Like
I did kind of like how the podcast started. And Christian's like, I know both of us are Canadian, but we'll try really hard to keep our Canadianisms out of this podcast. Do you know what I'm talking about, eh?
This one's called a loony, and this one's called a toonie.
Right, so after this, we had the street fight.
We did.
Oh, yes, we fucking did.
Yeah, we did. Okay, so before we go into this, Taz joined commentary, which is what made it bad. Because I do not like these cinematic matches having commentary over it. It just sounds really awkward. And especially like the last time we had a cinematic match like this was the Guevara and Matt Hardy thing, where they kind of just got piped in and they kind of started talking as if they didn't know they were meant to commentate this. Like, I just felt like this just needed to be what it was.
I think that they'd done the commentary and had Taz there to explain his absence.
But like they kind of done that before it happened anyway. It was like, oh, I wasn't allowed to be there.
That's what they said. Like, oh, Tony Khan's got me doing commentary for this match because it's part of my contract to be a commentator, and he's booked me for this to do this match, so I can't be there for my team.
I know, but just cinematic matches need to not have commentary. That's the whole point.
To be honest, I kind of tuned them out.
I can't say they bothered me, to be honest. Like
this, it did not affect my enjoyment of this match, and I fucking adored this match.
No, like
it's the cinematic match ever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And directed by Darby Allin.
I can believe that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we'll get into the actual match, and I should probably rephrase what I said when I says this made the match bad. No, it didn't make the match bad. It just kind of hampered my enjoyment of it slightly. But no, that you're right. This match was fucking incredible. So they all kind of make their own entrances with their theme music kind of underline playing. Then Darby and the Sting hoodlums showed up, which Cage promptly took out very quickly.
Did I not call it, by the way? With their face paint?
Yeah. Nicely done. At one point, Sting sends Darby through two doors with a gorilla press. As Sting is knocking the hell out of Starks in the ring, because there was a ring in this warehouse. Cage with a vertical suplex and just climbs a flight of stairs with Darby.
That was fucking cool.
Cage then just starts standing on Darby's head. The Sting comes in and sends Cage into a ladder. Starks takes out Darby and swings a giant barrel at Sting's legs, which just looked uncomfortable. Darby smashes a bottle over Cage's head, and the father and son in pain send Cage through the table. Darby climbs up and hits a coffin drop on Starks through a table as well. And then Darby is attacked by this big, beefy-looking guy with an orange mask. To get the big reveal, I wonder who it's going to be. Like, oh, he takes the mask off. Oh, it's Powerhouse Hobbs. Then Hook shows up with no shirt on, looking absolutely ripped as all fuck.
Damn, son.
Bro got gains, I think. Is that the right term? I don't know. I don't lift. Cage and Hobbs, as Robert would say, legging a wing to see the king. Darby through a pane of fucking glass, which...
legging a wing to see the king. A one, boom, boom. A two, boom, boom. A three!
Smash! And then, just to add insult to injury from that, it kind of folds over in such a way that it just kind of...
It just slides down the wall and just fucking bops him on the head.
Just
like a little bunny foo-foo.
And a bunny foo-foo.
Goes through the glass, lands on his ass and bops him on the head.
I've lost my place because of that. Now Team Taz beat down Sting with a shovel, as Darby is left for dead. Not the game. Then Darby shows up in the window and throws the bat down to the Stinger. So the Stinger starts going ham with the bat and snaps the bat over the back of Cage's back. Then Sting sets up Cage on something.
The Team Taz platform.
Yes. And Darby dives what we're led to believe is like 2 stories through the window on top of Cage.
Never to be seen again.
Back in the ring, Stinger and Starks. Stinger goes for the splash, but Starks takes the turnbuckle pad off. Starks gets a spear for 2. He also threatens the buckle bomb.
Nice.
And the match ends with Sting hitting the Scorpion Death Drop, and this shit is over. And while I can't say whether or not it was the best cinematic match, because I would probably definitely have a think, because there was a few of them that I definitely did enjoy. It's definitely up there. It's definitely in the conversation. But so you got any more sort of thoughts on this one?
I'll leave that to Robert since he gave it such high praise.
It was just fucking amazing. Like, even just Ricky Starks fucking walking through that car park in that cool as shit gear to then jump in that banging ride with Cage. It was like some of that fucking Fast and the Furious. It was fucking bra. And then Sting and Darby's entrance with the band that do Darby's song, Wiccan.
Mm-hmm.
And they're on like all the TVs as they're making their way down to the abandoned building. Oh, I fucking just loved it. Even the mat in the ring was half Sting face and half Darby face.
Yeah, it's the same design as the T-shirt, wasn't it, that they've released?
Yeah. And I think that because of the start of the match, it kind of excuses the fact that Hobbs and Hook get involved.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had all the wee Sting Darby guns thinging about, so it's sort of tat for tat that way. But there was a wee jump cut that was very noticeable when Starks was going to do the buckle bomb, and then it just sort of jump cuts into Sting doing like the Code Red.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was something really weird about that.
But other than that, fucking hands down. Well, I'd say maybe it's the second best cinematic match, with number 1 going at the Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah, there's potential there.
I think you've got to put the Boneyard in that conversation.
Boneyard,
Yeah,
I
definitely.
thought this was better than the Boneyard.
Interesting.
But we'll need to see what, because I think with the way things are looking, it's clear at WrestleMania we're getting another Firefly Funhouse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely, because which is, I kind of hope it is going to be more of the same, with like Randy Orton coming out in his old like 2002 trunks and doing that weird shit. I think that would be like really funny.
But then you want to kind of make it different as well from the Cena one.
Yeah, but like even if they still borrow aspects from it, because
Yeah.
I think they should do like Randy and his old gear and stuff like that, but also portray like the younger Randy, the way that we all know that he was then. Obviously not on TV, but the way he was backstage, like just a pure prick.
It was a wee dick.
Since he's like, he talks about how much of an asshole he was quite openly, so everyone knows it. So I think it'd be quite cool if they did that, and it just had lots of wee like flashbacks to backstage where he's just being a dick to people. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. Oh my god. If you know the story, there's just a point where he's just squatting over a bag, taking a shit in it. And the two of you are looking at me because clearly I don't think you know that story.
No, I know the story, but I just can't remember whose bag.
Amy Weber, I think it was.
Oh, yes, from JBL's cabinet. And
Yeah.
the first season of the Diva Search.
Yeah. I miss her. She was awesome. Yeah, but like you did bring up a kind of good point that I forgot about, like the singer of the Darby's theme on the little TVs was quite badass. I actually forgot about that. And then the point where, as we were kind of talking about with Hobbs coming in with the mask, and like everybody on commentary is like, "Ah, who's that? Who's that?" And when he pulled the mask off and went, "Oh, it's Powerhouse Hobbs," and then Taz just made that snarky comment of, "Yeah, who did you think it was going to be?"
Yeah, I quite like that.
Well, let us get into the main event of AEW's Revolution.
Exploding barbed wire death match.
So going into this match, how high was the excitement level?
My heart was fucking racing. I was nervous.
I was mega excited for it. See, after the reveal of Christian, I'd said to Robert I was going to get some sleep because I had to get up for work in the morning. But I'd left it on, so I fell asleep, but I kept like kind of half waking up during the cinematic match. And then I half woke up as they announced the following contest is the exploding barbed wire death match. And I was like, if I leave this on, I'm not going to go to sleep. So I had to turn it off. And I turned it off, and I literally lay awake for like 10 minutes going, what am I missing, man?
So did you stick it back on?
No, I watched it in the morning. But it did keep me awake for a while that I wasn't watching it.
So did you know anything that happened when you watched it?
I knew about the end. Because it was impossible not to know about, because fucking it was everywhere.
It
was fucking everywhere.
I just kind of knew that because I wasn't watching it live, because of the big move, I was radio silent all day Monday.
Yeah, that's why when I was talking to Chris that I just messaged him rather than the group chat.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
I don't want Griz seeing anything.
I even put one of the other WhatsApp chats that I'm in with wrestling fans like on complete mute. Yeah, so that notifications didn't even pop up on the old phone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just so fucking nervous watching. I felt like something was wrong, and I put my hand in my chest, and my heart was going like 100 miles a minute.
I know. Like the excitement level was on another level.
And then also before the match, they showed the Onita fucking promo again, which really gets you fucking hyped up for a match like this.
Yeah, doesn't he have? You got your main man Onita.
Yeah. To me, that I think they wanted Onita there for the match, but I think in hindsight, it's probably best that he didn't, that he wasn't.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's get into this then, I suppose.
But I really do like that t-shirt.
Let me just prep with this before we get started. Beautiful. The t-shirt is fucking awesome.
It's so cool.
But, okay, we'll get through this quickly and we'll talk about it. So, during the match, Mox is the first man to hit the barbed wire, and the explosions look pretty sweet upon the impact on the ring ropes. Because Kenny Omega blinds Mox with powder, sending him into said ropes. Later on, Mox is put in a figure four, and then he uses a barbed wire chair to break free by using it as like a sort of cheese grater on the knee of Omega, which looked grim. And then the way that I think Kenny kind of accidentally put his hand on it, and that kind of like legit fucked him up.
Yeah.
Mox then starts wrapping barbed wire around his arm, trying to hit a lariat, but Omega tried so hard to fight it off, and then finally takes one to the face.
Mm-hmm.
Mox then attempts a paradigm shift, but Omega counters by sending both men in the exploding barbed wire, including Kenny Omega going again face first into the barbed wire. And needing water poured in.
As he was going for the paradigm shift, did you hear him shouting Death Rider?
Did he? I did not notice that.
Aye.
Interesting. So Omega was blinded and started needing to pour water in his eyes to kind of try and flush out the brightness.
The brightness, you nut.
It was pretty bright.
Pretty bright.
Kenny then rolls onto the apron, and this gives Mox the chance to hit the paradigm shift off the apron through the barbed wire with a very kind of shitty explosion on the outside, which goes off nowhere near Mox or Kenny. It kind of goes off next to them.
It goes off like sort of around the perimeter of the plywood boards.
Yeah, but it was only like one side. Like, I feel like it was supposed to be bigger than that. Then there was one point that sees Kenny hit the one-winged angel on Moxley, and then as the counter happens, Mox kicks the ring rope, setting off another explosion, taking Kenny off the pin.
I thought that was so fucking smart.
That was the spot of the match.
Yeah.
That was freaking awesome. And then the end of the match sees the Good Brothers run in with Carl Anderson handing Kenny a barbed wire bat. So Mox fights off the Good Brothers with his own barbed wire bat. Then he gets popped in the face with the barbed wire bat, and then he explodes.
They must have got the bat for EO.
Yes, but they didn't need to go over and press the button to activate it this time.
No, it was a wireless barbed wire baseball bat.
I mean, those were different times.
Different times. It's only 3 years ago.
Yeah, Jesus, you're right.
It's amazing technology just moves so quickly.
I know, and especially Japan, especially because it was Japan that happened, when they're already still about 10 years ahead of us when it comes to technology.
Mm-hmm.
The end of the match comes with Kenny Omega setting up a chair. He connects with the one-winged angel again on top of the chair, crunching it, and the match is over. At this point, if you turned off the pay-per-view, you would be happy as Larry. It was a great match, and other than maybe that one little flub with the kind of shitty outside explosion, that you could look past that. However, Kenny Omega continued the attack, and this is the point where on commentary they start saying, yeah, look, okay, the match is over, but these bombs are rigged to go off after 30 minutes. There's no failsafe. This is still going to happen. And so Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers are just beating down and beating down and beating down and beating down Moxley, just going at it constantly, just beating him down. They also handcuffed his hands behind his back. And then, here we go, 60-second countdown. This is it. They're still beating him down. I think they kind of hit the V trigger or something like that. I can't remember exactly. 30 seconds. Kingston starts to try and run out. And you see Butcher and the Blade holding him back. It's like, no, don't do it. But King runs past, runs into the ring. 20 seconds. He's violently shaking Moxley, slapping him in the face, trying to wake him up. 15 seconds, like he's trying to drag him out the ring, but like the commentator's like, he's out cold. Oh my God, what's going to happen? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Kingston just throws himself on top of John Moxley. 3, 2, 1.
Poof.
I thought it was great. Because the thing is, though, see if Eddie didn't sell it the way he sold it, they could have totally got away with that's what they're doing in Dynamite. That it was,
What they're doing now.
yeah,
Aye.
but what they're doing in Dynamite is Omega did it on purpose, but they could have got away with it just being shoddy engineering. Because, like, can you imagine how good that visual would have been if Eddie's over fucking Moxley, and then
Three,
if that happens,
What
and then at the end of Eddie just kind of lifts his head up and he's like, "The fuck?"
are you? Yeah, he just goes, "Are you fucking serious?" And just throws his arms up like, "What the hell was that?"
Aye. Like, but obviously Eddie completely oversold it because it was supposed to be a bigger explosion.
Eddie just went with a plan. He didn't try to call an audible or anything.
Maybe somebody should have told him. Although, right, well, because obviously, in fact, that's what happened. We fade to black, and everybody left disappointed.
I
So
think it's really
I don't think
unfair for people to
anybody
say
left
it's disappointing
disappointed.
based on
Right.
that.
Right,
Because
Chris,
when the cameras went off there, I sent you the link for this, I think.
yeah,
Moxley basically says Omega can't build an exploding ring for shit.
yeah.
And
Chris, what were you saying?
Because Tony Khan also got the video released on AEW's YouTube page as well. So it kind of seemed like, right, okay, they're going to play Kenny almost like a Joker type, where he's just fucking with everyone.
Mm-hmm. Right, so Chris, what were you saying about it?
I think it's really unfair to shit over the entire pay-per-view based on that at the end. Like, that exploding barbed wire death match was fucking great. Like, all the other explosions were brilliant. Like, alright, it was a bit of a damp squid at the end, but fuck it, man, it happens. Just fucking move on.
My favourite bit was the baseball bat, because I wasn't expecting it to be explosive.
Yeah.
And I kind of shat myself a wee bit. I was like, oh, fuck!
Aye. I
think I
thought
hurt my face.
overall the match was excellent, and I think it's
Yeah.
really unfair to judge that entire match based on that explosion at the end.
Absolutely. Great. I thought the whole pay-per-view overall was pretty great.
Yeah.
And there's definitely some people that are leaving with very, very salty feelings. And, like, yes, I will totally agree with them in terms of the ending bit sucked. It is what it is, I suppose. Like, I mean, yes, I was really looking forward to it.
What we have to is look yourself in the mirror and say, I think that ending sucked, which is a fair fucking thing to have. But then you have to balance it up and, like, did that ending suck so much that it completely ruined the rest of the match / pay-per-view? Well, no. So fucking forget about it and move on.
Which is exactly why I went out of the way to say this was a great match, and the two of them done really well before this. So it's like, it's almost taking the two of these bits apart. And it's, I mean, there's obviously a ton of different ways you can go with this. Like, would AEW not have tried to go out their way to try and test this beforehand to make sure it was ready for the night? Or was this the plan all along? I don't think it was, but...
Because Mick Foley's even put his 2 pence in. Saying,
Yeah, he has every right to do that because he was involved in one of these matches where there was a fucking wet fart of an ending.
Yeah, he basically said, look, it's all well and good that they're trying to turn this negative into a positive here by using Kenny as an excuse for why the ending didn't go according to plan. But in my opinion, just own up to the mistake and learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try and sort of kayfabe it. But then where the fuck's the fun in that, Mick?
To be
Because
honest,
from this, right? Because from this, now you could have Kenny Omega basically threatening horrible shit, and then it goes poof or whatever, and it sets up a new character for Kenny.
he could do stuff like, oh man, like I've got this rabid dog that's not been fed for like 3 weeks behind this door in the locker room. Then he throws somebody in, and then it cuts to the thing, and it's like a tiny puppy.
It's like a fucking Pomeranian.
Aye, or like a wee chihuahua or something like that. And just be like, I'm gonna start like promoting all this gross, grim, dark shit, and then excuse me, sorry, I'm a bit hoarse after all that screaming. Like you can start doing promoting all this grim, dark shit, and then just be like, oh well, just fucking you with you. And then what they should maybe try and do is try and run this match back soon at some point, and then maybe having people second guess whether or not it's going to happen, and then maybe even do something like, it gets to like 5 seconds left, and then it goes off early or something, like just to like really fuck with you.
I don't think this type of match isn't going to happen. It's either never going to happen again, or it's not going to happen for a very long time.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I would tend to agree.
But we said all that, so let's move on to Dynamite. And we'll kind of talk about the outcome from it and how they've at least tried, as you were saying, Robert, to kayfabe their way out of it, which I wouldn't say they failed at. I think they've done pretty well. They covered all bases.
I agree.
In that sort of form of fashion. And then now they're still kind of moving on with the storyline as it was meant to be.
Yes.
And then, so we'll kickstart Dynamite, which started this week with Phoenix taking on Matt Jackson.
Robert's Wrestler of the Week, Ray Phoenix.
I feel like he's the fucking wrestler most weeks.
Well, the segment only started last episode, and last week's winner was Black Taurus.
Yeah. But, I mean, I just mean that in the way that, like, Phoenix is just, to use the wrestling term, of firing on all cylinders right now.
Yeah. Based on his performance in the Battle Royal and this match, fucking 10 out of 10 for Phoenix.
Which is the thing that kind of annoys me, that he's, and I don't want to use the word, but I'll use it, stuck in a tag team. Because I would argue right now that both Pac and Phoenix are two of the best wrestlers on the AEW roster, and having them go after the tag titles is not how I would have them be booked.
But the thing is, though, like, what would you do with them out with that then, given the current landscape?
Well, Pac has been pining for a match against Omega ever since he returned, because Pac kind of has one of the very few legitimate wins over Kenny Omega at this point. That doesn't obviously include Kenny Omega's non-sanctioned match. So easily, like, the first thing you could do is, boom, there's your next challenger, is having Pac work his way up and kind of get under Kenny Omega's skin by being like, yeah, well, yeah, of course you won't give me, or of course you will. I cannot do his accent to save my life. Of course you won't give me a title shot because you know I can beat you, because I have beat you, and I didn't need barbed wire or weapons or thumbtacks or glass to do it. I beat you in the middle of the ring. Straight up.
I find it interesting, though, that the way that they're now booking Death Triangle, where they seem to have Pac and Phoenix as being kind of baby faces.
All right, yeah.
But the way they've booked Penta with Corey, they've kind of booked him very heelish.
Mm-hmm.
I think it all just depends on how you approach it.
Yeah, context.
Because to me,
well, I think when you say I'm going to break your arm so you can't hold your newborn baby, it's probably about as heel as it gets.
Well, no, because his baby's not born yet, and I think it could be portrayed as that kind of thing of, oh, Penta's bringing up the unborn baby because he knows that'll get under Cody's. Excuse me, Bill. Get under Cody's skin, but like probably a lot of people are sitting there like, yeah, I'm so sick about hearing about Cody's baby. So it's kind of a good reference in the way that like people be like, yeah, fuck up his arm. I'm sick of hearing about that kid.
Yeah,
Well,
fair.
since we're talking about it, I might as well just continue. I did like that he pulled down Alex Abrahantes to help him do the translation. It was almost as if he's like the Cody of Mexico, and he has Alex Abrahantes, and Cody has Tony Schiavone. And just even Alex's swagger when he was walking with Penta was like, I'm a bad motherfucker because I can translate.
Yeah.
I didn't know who that dude was, so I appreciate the fact that you were able to fill us in on that. But yeah, that dude fucking sold this segment.
He usually does like the pre-shows and the post-shows, and he does like, interviews occasionally, and he's also in Being the Elite a lot and Sammy's vlog a lot.
Is he the dude that does the?
He's the fortune teller.
I've not seen it in a while. But was he the dude that used to do the things with like Santana and Ortiz and Vicky Guerrero and all that stuff?
Yeah, speaking Spanglish stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
And he was
yeah,
also
yeah.
like the fortune teller with like the crystal ball.
I don't think I've seen any of that stuff, but
That stuff's quite old.
yeah, well, there's that, and I think he should be a kind of semi-prominent character at this point. And I've just realised that I've left Strongbow in the freezer, so I need to go and grab that. So fill time.
Hello, my baby.
Hello, my
honey.
darling. Hello, my
ragtime
ragtime
gal.
You could just like actually talk about wrestling and not just sing.
Wrestling.
Why would we talk about wrestling when we can sing? Because we have voices of angels. Take it, Robert.
That's for my Swedish fans.
I'm going to give it a wee harmony for that.
Yes, I am auditioning for Eurovision Song Contest representing Sweden.
I'm auditioning representing the cunt, but myself. Yeah, pricks.
Wait, I heard the Eurovision being brought up. Tell me.
No, you were
I
away.
don't think you want to know.
No, I care. I
I'll
love
ruin the
Eurovision.
surprise.
Yeah.
Listen to the episode and you'll find out.
I was listening. I had wireless headphones
So why didn't you hear what I was saying?
because I got too far away at one point and I heard Eurovision for Sweden.
Yep, that's exactly what I said.
Yep.
All right.
That actually is pretty accurate.
Yep, you did not miss a thing.
Oh man, I have such sights to show you on Saturday, Robert, when it comes to Eurovision.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. I don't think we've got enough time for all
One
this.
of the best songs that sadly did not make Eurovision because it was cancelled last year.
But come on, let's face it, right? Remember, we've got a fucking Impact special to watch on Saturday as well, so I don't think we'll have time.
So as we said, moving on, the first match of this week's Dynamite was Phoenix. Ray Phoenix taking on Matt Jackson. So the kind of ending part of this match came with Phoenix attempting a dropkick on Matt, but he avoids, but Phoenix collides with Nick instead, which took him out. So then seconds later, Matt ends up on the outside and super kicks Pac, which was just really mean and kind of dickish. Because like one of them was an accident and the other was just, you hit my brother. Both go for a super kick at one point and collide with each other's like legs, which kind of really weirded me out for some reason. Matt,
Yeah, because it's right in the
two-
shins, man. You're like, I felt that. Have you ever been kicked in the shins, man? It's not nice.
Yeah, shins are my fucking weak spot, man. Like, I reckon you could probably do a thing where you kick me in the ball or kick me in the shins, and it's like I probably would prefer to be kicked in the balls.
I'm not sure about that. I'd have to think about my answer to that one.
Maybe it depended probably how many pints I've sank by that point. Matt with the tombstone, not the robot attempt, but Phoenix with the counter. He connects with the driver of his own, and he gets the 1-2 and the trace. Phoenix is pinned, one half of the tag team champions.
Am I wrong? Right, I may have completely imagined this, but did they not say on Dynamite? Sorry, on the pay-per-view that the tag title match was going to be on Dynamite?
That's what I assumed.
It will be on Dynamite, but not that Dynamite. They said a future Dynamite.
I thought they said this Wednesday on Dynamite.
No, they said
That's
on
what
a
I thought
future
as well.
Dynamite. They said.
Unless you're getting the kind of two mixed up, because the Darby Allin Scorpio Sky match did happen on this Dynamite, obviously. Unless you just kind of got those two mixed up or something. But I was under the impression as well that was going to happen until I seen the match announcement that Phoenix and Matt were going to go one-on-one.
Yeah, fair enough. Maybe I did imagine it, but
I don't think you're entirely wrong, because I was under the same sort of influence. That's a funny sentence.
yeah, oh well. Anyway, what was next?
The Kingston and John Moxley promo. So Kingston pretty much says, yeah, I like. Again, this kind of goes back to exactly what we were saying of, you know what? Whatever happened at the pay-per-view happened. It sucked, yes, but I felt like everybody that was involved really done well with at least trying to salvage this for the way that it happened. So it started off with Kingston saying, oh, he passed out from anxiety, Jesus. Because like he kind of lay over him and it got kind of flashbacks of like high school and and this and that, and all just panic from this big explosion that was set to happen. And then Mox said, I guess Impact must have paid for the bomb. Yeah. And it came in a big crate that said Acme on the side. And then even says, I've seen the explosions from like fourth grader like volcano science projects that made a bigger boom than that. And it then goes on to say, oh, I was expecting to be blown up and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. And then Kingston went, actually, it's quite a cool t-shirt. And Mox goes, yeah, I know.
That t-shirt was the reason that I was asking in the group chat if everyone wanted to split PWT.
Yeah, I need to have a think. I need to have a think about it. See if there's anything that I can find that I really want. So maybe I'll get back to you on that. Then Mox says, "At least I got my drinking buddy back," and he continues to say, "I knew that wasn't you." And then Kingston comes out with, "Yeah, that world title does crazy things to people." So kind of all in all, just a nice little kind of wrap up as to why Kingston just kind of acted the way he did. And, you know, when dire consequences happened, Kingston really realized, fuck, man, deep down in my heart, I probably still love this dude. And now a potential Kingston-Moxley tag team to get Moxley out of the world title feud. Now that's what I appreciate in a tag team.
To be fair though, I do agree with you, but that promo to me didn't sound like Moxley's coming out the title feud just yet.
No, to me it's not about the title anymore. It's about them against Omega and the Good Brothers.
Mm-hmm. But I do feel like it needs to move on from this just now.
Yeah, yes, he needs something to distract him away from the world belt just now, because he's had his rematch, he lost, it's someone else's turn.
Yeah,
I don't want Mox turning into a Cody.
Yeah,
this is the part. It's like somebody else needs a title match, and Cody's like, me?
No, not you, because you're not allowed. You can't sit with us.
But what if I just made a stipulation that I can win it back?
No, you can't sit with us.
But what if I?
No.
But
no.
If I could
go back home to your not born baby.
Oh, you fucking tell you that I'm gonna fucking beat you. Which was exactly what happened next. As Bebo for came in and started started shouting, and she just turned around and left. Cody Rhodes took on already in the ring Seth Gargis. Figure 4 and it's over. Tony asks Cody about his shoulder, and then Penta interrupts. We've kind of already spoke about this segment. Penta says he's 1,000 times better, and he's the Lord of Lucha. And then Penta starts speaking English, saying, "Oh, if we went one-on-one, you would lose more than just the match." Then the translator, as you kind of alluded to, says, "Oh, he would break your arms. You wouldn't even be able to hold your new baby." And then Cody gets really mad. Like, why is it when it comes to people bringing up like family members in wrestling, like that's the trigger that sets everybody off?
I think it's maybe because none of us actually have human babies.
I know, but just even in general, like there's been times where it's like literally people go like, "Oh, well, your wife, she wasn't that good when she was a wrestler," and then they're like, "Ah!" And it's like, Jesus, chill out. She wasn't that good as a wrestler. Wrestlers are so emotional when it comes to their families. Just like, you know, one of them should just be like, "Yeah, I know you're just trying to get under my skin and it's not working. Fuck you. I like my family. You don't have to." Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor are in an arcade saying that they want one more match. And Chuck says, "Okay, well, that butler crap that you made me do, if we lose to you this time, I'll be your butler forever." Then Chuck says that Orange Cassidy came up with a match type where they put all those game cabinets around ringside and we'll throw your head through each one of them. Then Cassidy says, "And then we'll break you." So are we going to have a game cabinet lumberjack match?
I think so.
This sounds...
We're going to do another cinematic match in an arcade, but they clearly said we're going to put them round the ring.
Yeah, and they're all going
to be the games things around the ring, and they're just going to throw each other into them.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? She's trying to jump on something around this untidied room, but she keeps going so far and then having to peel back, and then going so far and then having to peel back because she's got a little fat butt. She's an idiot. So Sting comes out, starts talking about Darby Allin and them winning. Then Archer comes out saying, "Oh, he didn't need a ladder match to go for the title and wants things to change." Then Tony just goes, "Yeah, this is Sting's time to talk." And Archer goes, "Oh, okay. Bye." And then leaves.
It was very awkward.
And then like Tony kind of turns around and starts trying to interview Sting again, and Sting's like, "Yeah, I'm away too." I was like, what the fuck was that about?
It was very bizarre. Like the flip-flopping of Archer recently is very confusing. I mean, even he still came out the face tunnel. He interrupts Sting.
Yeah.
And then
doesn't
help with fucking Jake trying to get his 2 words in. Has Stanger.
Yeah.
Jake's. I love Jake, but he is starting to bug me a wee bit with that. Like, he has to be involved and like verbally involved in everything. It seems at times that it's like, just be a manager. Like, just stand there quietly whilst your client shines. Do you know what I mean?
Talk when it's convenient, or talk when it's needed, even more specifically.
Convenience, basically what he does. He talks when it's convenient, not when it's required.
It was a lot like that thing from the last episode with JG Dillon after the FTR thing, when Schiavone was on the stage and it's like, "Oh, well, coming up next," while they were all leaving, and JG Dillon grabs the mic and goes, "Oh, you ain't going to see anything better than that." And then Schiavone goes, "You're not getting paid extra for that."
Yeah.
And it was like, kind of one of those things where it's like, it almost feels sometimes that like some of these older wrestlers are just allowed that little bit of extra freedom.
I don't think it's that. I think that's just how it was in their generation. was they did shit like that, where they took microphones off announcers and all that. I just don't think they've quite
grown out of it.
Not grown out of it, but you know what I mean? They don't quite understand it's a different era now.
Yeah. Maybe not grown out of it is the correct term, but I think it's probably one of the closer ones.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So, speaking of awkward promos, QT Marshall and Lee Johnson are backstage, where QT is asked why did he bounce out of the Battle Royal, and he's like, I'm only human. We'll talk about that later. Lee Johnson's got to get another win for the Nightmare family tonight. And then Lee Johnson just kind of awkwardly pats QT in like the stomach and doesn't say anything. And then they just kind of turn and stare at the interviewer. I was like, okay, cool.
Do you remember when Big Shotty won his first match?
Yes,
and he thanked everyone in the Nightmare family.
Except QT Marshall.
Except QT Marshall. That's what I was getting earlier.
Aha. Interesting. Damn QT Marshall don't get no respect around here.
I'm thinking QT Marshall maybe feels a wee bit undervalued by the Nightmare family.
Yeah, it's
rightfully so.
So we had All Eagle. He's All Eagle Ethan Page.
Bald Eagle Ethan Page.
Page, America, even though he's from Canada. So Page wins with the Ego's edge, but I wasn't concentrating on this match because I started looking how to say who's the cutest girl in the world for the Maki Ito match in Japanese. Spoilers, I couldn't find it. So I guess I just need to listen to the beginning for a theme song about 18 times, and then maybe I might be able to clock it. So Ego then starts attacking Lee after the match, and QT just leaves his dust and makes the save. Backstage, Marvez is set to interview Page, and Page rolls up in his new lawnmower. Says he bought a new satellite, 6 bottles of whiskey.
To make a difference and say Hangman Page, since we have Hangman Page and Ethan Page.
Son of a bitch, you're right. This is like what the Orange Cassidy and the other Cassidy. Isaiah. Thank you.
I hope you say Colin.
Colin Cassidy. Big ass.
Yes.
So Hangman shows up with his new lawnmower, says he bought a new satellite, 6 bottles of whiskey, and gave some to charity. Then Johnny Hungy walks up. He says, any room in the moor for more? And he's like, yeah, come on in. So all of Dark Order then jump on the moor, except 5. And they're like, weight limits. So they start to drive away, and the whole thing almost capsizes.
It does a fucking wheelie.
And I think one of them fell off the side because they panicked. Mm-hmm. And then so Alan Angels just kind of stood there like, okay, I guess I'll catch up with these later.
I'll get the next one.
Yeah.
But that just fits with the Dark Order because all they do is fucking shit on 5.
Which is something I don't understand. 5 is like really good for like a younger wrestler.
Aye, wrestling wise he's good, but everything else, Angels 5 is shit according to the Dark Order. That's why he's been going on to Sammy's vlogs, because he doesn't get bullied on Sammy's vlogs.
Is he still doing the hair thing?
No, the hair's gone. Gone. But on Sammy's vlog, he's entering a Battle of the Man boy band competition.
Okay, tell me more.
Him and Charlie, I think he's one of the ring crew, are basically battling each other, so that there's like a battle of the male boy bands, and they're trying to get groups together. And in 5's group, it's who the fuck is Griff Garrison and Fuego.
You fucking boy.
But this week they lost a member because Griff's bird showed up and said, no, you're not doing this. Push, and pulled him away. And according to the rules, you have to have between 3 and 5 members to officially be known as a boy band.
Yep.
So 5's got to find someone else.
Oh, man.
Oh, and there's a new PTE champion.
All right.
Sammy's girlfriend.
What did she do to win it?
They played a game which Sammy's mum calls BBB. Big black balls, and essentially they just need to throw balls into like some sort of container.
Uh-huh.
And we have first to 5 wins.
So Alan Angels was there as well?
No, that was filmed in Thingy's house.
I know, I'm joking. Because you said first of 5.
I got you. Anyway, continue.
Right. So Tony is out next. He was looking for an interview with Christian Cage, but the dancers are out, and here comes Kenny. Tony Schiavone then starts going, "Oh, we're going to have another interruption." It's like, well, yeah, it's your fucking champ. Because anyone that's allowed to come out anytime he feels like it's your fucking champ.
Yeah, and also the bit with like, oh, what's going on here? It's the dancers with the fucking brushes. You should know it's going to be Omega.
Yeah. Don says, whether it was meant or not, it just made us happy taking all that away from you at the end of the pay-per-view. And like the two of them, well, he first started by saying, haha, everything went completely according to plan. And then Kenny Omega goes, maybe not all. And then, as I say, Don continues to just go on and really ham up the whole thing of like, if there was a massive explosion that went off, we would have got rid of John Moxley and Kingston, which would have been a win for us. If that explosion hadn't went off, you just would have been all upset, and we made Kingston and Mox look like idiots, which is just a win for us. So either way, big win for us.
Yeah.
So you can't argue with that. You can't.
Even the comments are, oh, Eddie, 69 made the ring, 69 made.
Yes. So Kingston joins the chat, like it's fucking MSN apparently, and Don starts talking about when Kingston was at Impact, which even I fucking practically forgot about, and then there's like, oh yeah, DCC, that was a weird stable.
And also LAX, when they ran over that wee boy.
Yes. How did I not remember that? Why did I remember DCC before LAX? What the fuck? Oh my god. I need to have a fucking look in the mirror for that one. Yeah. The old fucking V for Vendetta gimmick over fucking the OG's running over a kid. So Don then started saying, oh, well, yeah, you know what? Like, do you know what it was that fired you? It's just every time you just start getting close to the top, you screw it up. And then Don gives King 10 seconds to leave, and he's like, I'll make it even better for you. There you go. So then a big 10-second countdown comes up on screen, and that's when Kenny Omega starts screaming, oh, Don, 69 me, 69 me. Like, 10 count gets to 0, and Kenny Omega's like, oh, nothing happened. I was remembered that one time I got detention in high school, and I got all woozy, I almost blacked out there. Then King...
So shady, but so entertaining.
Oh, it's so kind of childish, but it's kind of brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny then tells King to take a free shot. But he's like, nah, you won't do it because you know exactly what's going to happen. Dad says, you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. Sticking his chin out. So Kingston takes his free shot and the Good Brothers attack. But then Moxley comes in for the backup. Then Christian Cage's theme hits and JR's like, what the hell was that? And then Excalibur's, or I think it actually may be Tony.
Tony says, we heard his music on Sunday.
And then JR's like, I don't remember his fucking theme music.
We're live, pal.
We're live, pal. So Cage and Omega go shake hands until Omega tries to hit clothesline. Cage counters, attempts the unprettier, but Don pulls Omega out of the ring. And then Cage holds up Le Championship.
As we have probably our next challenger, which I think is too soon.
Yeah, agreed.
This match isn't happening until Double or Nothing.
I don't think it is either, but
even Double or Nothing's too soon for me.
Yeah.
What does he Cage work with the younger guys first?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I want to see Cage versus Omega like ASAP. But if you are going to do it, like Cage should be, Omega should be like, well, you know what? You don't even have a win in your record, or you think you can challenge me for this belt? So if we're going to do this, this is absolutely going to be non-title. Like that's the only way that
I would be okay with that, yeah. Because I think if it is for the title, Christian Cage has to win. For me,
it might not even be for the title if you've watched Impact.
Yes. Oh, you don't know what's happening?
No, which is why
shit's went down.
Oh, can we tell him? Griz, what you want to know? Are you going to watch it? Are you going to watch it before the pay-per-view?
Yeah, obviously. I'll try and churn through Impact and NXT before Saturday. I'll probably start with Impact because obviously with the pay-per-view being on Sunday, Impact will have that bit more of priority.
Basically, all I'll tell you is it's the title match at Sacrifice. There must be a winner.
Ooh. Interesting. I was wondering how they were going to go about with this, and part of the conversation that I was going to have with you when it came to Impact was I don't think there's going to be a winner, was going to be my call when we ran down the card. So now that there has to be a winner, that is an entirely new ball game. But we'll have a chat about that on the weekend. And then obviously probably the pay-per-view stemming out of it. Okay, talk to you about that later. So
trios match next.
You know.
Yeah, I have an idea in the old noodle, but anyway. So Baker, Nyla Rose, and Maki Ito took on Hikaru Shida, Ryo Mizunami, and Thunder Rosa. So Io makes her way out onto the ramp, starts singing her song. But Shida and her team come out and start attacking. But fuck you if you think that's going to stop Maki goddamn Ito from singing. She just, on the ramp, does her dance, does her song, and just keeps going. Just keeps going. The music cuts off and she just keeps going. And clearly...
One of the funniest things I've seen.
Yeah. And clearly my other half is already sick of Maki Ito. Because she watched her at the pay-per-view, and then she watched her... she was kind of about the house while she made that entrance, and she's like, oh, is she going to do this every time? It's like, yes, that's the whole point.
That's why we like her.
Exactly. That's why she's like, I fucking like turned into a pile of goop with excitement when she came out of the pay-per-view. And then she was like, oh, did her music turn off again? It's like, well, this one was kind of deliberate because people started attacking people. Because, yeah, her music at the pay-per-view was a bit fucked up.
I think they just didn't have the levels right, but they got there and then they saved the levels once they got there so they know how to do Maki Ito's entrance now.
Yeah. So Maki lands her headbutt and celebrates like she won the fucking title. She's just like, yeah. There's a Rio with a spear to Nyla. Shida sets up Baker in the corner, and then Rio suplexes Shida into Baker. Nyla attempts a powerbomb, but Rosa saves the day. There's a spinning crossbody by Rosa, taking out everybody on the outside. Ito with a spinning DDT off of the distraction from Vicky onto Rosa. Reba tries to use the crutch again, but Rosa counters, hits a driver at Ito for the victory, and then Baker comes in with the beatdown on Rosa with the crutch and the lockjaw, not the robot. If Britt Baker used the robot lockjaw on Thunder Rosa, that would be fucking terrifying. Anyway.
Well, next week she might.
Yeah, that big AEW BattleBots crossover that we all didn't want except for me. Backstage, Matt Hardy and Private Party. They start talking about Matt Hardy's new unit that he has signed under the Hardy brand, and it's Butcher, Blade, and Bunny. Now, we kind of alluded to this earlier, and Chris specifically, I think, says this makes absolutely no sense. And yeah, I actually do kind of agree because, as I said, I felt like this was definitely TH2's position because for the past couple of weeks, they were the ones that Matt Hardy was paying.
The only way I can see this making any sort of sense is if it's basically to turn Butcher and Blade face for a feud with Private Party.
Maybe like Matt Hardy tries to interfere and it screws over Butcher and or Blade, and then they're like, this is not worth the money you're giving us.
Plus, they already have a manager. There's no one fucking noticed that.
But it's a different type. It's more like a business manager rather than a wrestling manager.
But that's what Bunny was. Bunny was a business manager for them. She was the one getting all their contracts when they were doing the guns for hire sort of thing.
I never asked you a completely valid reason.
I'm just saying that if I was in Butcher and Blade's situation, I'd much rather Bunny was my manager than Matt Hardy.
Well, she still is, but I get what you mean. I mean, I don't think you would want Matt Hardy crawling you around with a leash.
Yeah, clever Griz.
Yeah, that's called a callback. Speaking of callbacks, Scorpio Sky catches in his Sonic of the Hedgehog. Jesus Christ, Sonic the Hedgehog ring to get his shot at the TNT Championship and Darby Allin.
You sounded like Santino Marella.
Yeah. He's got to cash in his... oh my god, that's not even slightly Italian. Baba da Boopy. Let's see.
Sonic and the Hedgehog.
Sonic of the Hedgehog. That sounds like Borat.
To me, that's what Santino was, a Borat.
Yeah, to be fair.
Yeah. So I felt that this was really weird seeing Darby just in a regular match because it's felt like so long since the last time that we seen him in just a regular one-on-one match. Because the last match was against Cage, and that felt like months ago.
That was New Year's Smash, I think.
Fuck you. Jesus, you're right. So during the match, Darby flips back in the ring and janks his ankle, and this gives Sky a chance. Scorp works the Germans and hits a German, sending Darby into the corner buckles. Darby with a dive to the outside, but gets countered into a Scorpio cutter, but only gets two when sent in the ring. There's a coffin drop that was also countered to a powerbomb for two. Storm then goes for his TKO finisher, but Darby counters in a cradle and gets the three. Then Darby kind of... I should mention, at the start of this match, Darby and Scorp both just shook hands. Yeah, respect, yada, yada. So at the end of the match, Darby comes up, gives Scorp a little sort of pat on the shoulder, like, good match. And then Scorpio just kind of looks up and is like, you motherfucker. And just takes the legs out from under Darby and locks in a heel hook. The referees finally manage to pry him off, and then Scorpio sort of steps back, is like, what the fuck did I just do? And then he kind of like looks and assesses the damage. Is like, nah, you know what? I'm happy with what I done. So
he's a big star now. He's got a podcast. He's like us.
Yeah, exactly.
He wishes he was us.
I know.
It was on the telly there, just trying to literally do what we're called.
See the thing that annoyed me about this. I won't get into too much detail because obviously time's getting on a wee bit. But the thing that annoyed me about this was, see, after it happened, where Tony was lad to JR. Oh, I find it really interesting that Scorpio Sky. Did you see what tunnel he left out of?
I did not.
No, that's what he was asking. They're like, no, and they're like, he left out the same tunnel. I think it's the inner circle thing, isn't it? After this.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like when Inner Circle were coming out, he's like, he left through the same tunnel the Inner Circle are coming through. And it's like, oh, it's rather than the one that he entered. It's like, oh, that's really interesting and all that. And it was like, yeah, okay, we get there's a heel in a face tunnel.
Bash it all over our fucking heads, Jesus.
Yeah, like we get there's a heel in a face tunnel. That's totally cool, right? I understand that. But the whole point of that is to suggest there's two different fucking locker rooms. That's the reason. There's two different tunnels, there's two different locker rooms. So he just wanders out in his gear for the fucking face locker room and then leaves it at the heel one. And it's like, well, what happens to his gear then? Like, there's no fucking need to like be pointing that out on commentary. Because it's just too obvious. If he'd walked up the heel one, we'd have been like, oh, he went up the heel tunnel. And that'd been it. Wouldn't have thought any more about it. But it's the fact they pointed it out and made it a pure big deal. Like, oh, did you see what he went up? He went up the baddies tunnel. Mm-hmm. And it's like,
there's some things that they shouldn't comment on, and I think that's totally. One of them.
Yeah, totally. It completely thanks the whole point. But yeah, so after that, the next segment was the Inner Circle's, was it Declaration of War?
War Council.
War Council, that was it. So the segment starts with Jericho on the mic talking about to make changes, and he suggests that they're going to add a new member to the Inner Circle, where he's cut off by MJF, who says that maybe they don't have to add a new member, maybe they should be cutting a member. And just as he says that, music hits, and whose music is it?
The Spanish guy.
Out comes Sammy, and Sammy says, Chris, You've got to see this. And Jericho goes, Sammy, we've already said we don't want anything to do with you. We hate you. And Sammy goes, Chris, I just need you to see this footage. So then goes to show footage of the Inner Circle's dressing room. You see Sammy setting up the camera and disappearing. And you've got the rest of the Inner Circle minus Jericho in the dressing room. And then MJF comes in and says, look, guys, Chris has got to go. It's time to cut the head off the snake. And the rest of the Inner Circle agree. So it cuts back to Jericho and the rest of the Inner Circle and Sammy in the ring, with the Inner Circle members aligned on MJF's side of the ring, with Jericho and Sammy on the other side. Jericho's got his baseball bat. The other Inner Circle members start making moves towards him. But no one's actually throwing any punches. It's kind of like no one's going for it. And just as they get close enough, the other members turn round to face MJF, and Jericho goes, "Do you think we're that stupid?" And Jericho reveals that this whole thing was a big rouge all along. It was to get MJF. Jericho walks up, shoves MJF into the corner. MJF kind of cowers in the corner, and Jericho goes, "Oh, we're going to get you. We're going to get you." And MJF goes, "Look, Chris, please listen to me. I had no intention of taking your group off you because I was too busy forming my own."
Ooh. The lights go out, which is a Fozzy song.
Yep. lights go out, and when they come back up, standing in the ring, we have the chairman, Shawn Spears, Wardlow,
And FTR.
and FTR.
And Tully.
Ah, kind of consider Tully part of FTR.
Yeah, so that's point.
And then all hell breaks loose. They batter the absolute shit out the Inner Circle.
No pun
They
intended.
they drag Jericho up to the stage, and then Wardlow seriously powerbombs Jericho, by the way. Like, see how fucking easily he got Jericho up? And you could tell it was dead weight he lifted. There was no jumping on Jericho's part there. Deadlifted Jericho up, powerbombed them off the stage through some tables, and the show goes off the air with MJF and his cronies looking all menacing on the stage.
Yeah. So, just to quickly chime in with the few extra bits was Dax smashes a bottle over Hager's head, like right at the start. Then Sammy Guevara gets a chair wrapped around his throat and then thrown. I think he was kind of curb stomped in at the corner, and then that's when they sort of handcuff Pride and Powerful as well. And then MJF punches Jericho with the dynamite diamond ring that makes him bleed, and then MJF also lets loose with Jericho's own bat that he was reaching for. And then the power bomb to end it. Like, amazing end to a segment. And an amazing rundown, Chris, by the way.
Michael?
I have a question. What if the Inner Circle actually turned on Jericho? What the fuck would MJF do with FTR and Shawn Spears?
Probably just add them to the group. You're all friends now.
But, yeah, I think that if that had happened, then MJF would just be like, all right, okay, job done. I've got my own stable anyway, so it doesn't really matter. His whole point was he was trying to pull apart the Inner Circle, which hasn't worked. But just before we wrap things up, I just got a question to ask you guys.
Will you marry me?
No. Oh. Can any of you say blood and guts?
No. It crossed my mind, but do you know what really one that cemented it for me? Stadium Stampede 2.
I really hope not. There's no need to do another Stadium Stampede. There's crowds in now. Like, it's time for blood and guts, in my opinion.
Yeah. I fully agree. I like it. You kind of, like, obviously now it kind of seems as if Sammy is back in the Inner Circle from that.
Well, but apparently he never left. It was all a rouge.
A rouge?
A rouge?
I know, that's three times you've said that. It's a rouge. Rouge.
Rouge?
Rouge is the colour red.
I'm going with rouge.
Well, I'm just going to go and kick it with Nicky Kidman in the Moulin Rouge.
The Moulin Red.
Okay, rouge then. Whatever. Anyway.
At least it's not going to be a Survivor Series.
Yeah. Worse than a Survivor Series.
I'm calling Double or Nothing Blood and Guts.
I think it's going to be Stadium Stampede 2.
No, I don't like the idea of Stadium Stampede 2 because that was kind of played a bit for laughs, and this is a bit too serious for that.
It wasn't really
I'm not against a Stadium Stampede 2 somewhere down the line, but I just don't think this is it.
Yeah, I think this needs to finally bring out the blood and guts that he always wanted to do.
I want to see it though. I mean, see if it's not Stadium Stampede 2, I'm quite happy with it being Blood or Guts.
Yeah.
I actually totally forgot about Blood and Guts, and my mind just straight went to Stadium Stampede 2.
It was literally the first thing that crossed my mind. See, as soon as it happened, as soon as it showed you that angle with them all standing in the ring, I was like, oh, Blood and Guts, we're finally getting it.
Okay, right. One more question, then I guess we can wrap it up, and then we'll see how it goes from there. But obviously, last week when the rest of this faction started to form, you seen Arn Anderson kind of stand at the ramp, and he's like, interesting. And he seems so out of place. Do you think there's any potential that Arn Anderson might turn on Cody enjoying this sort of faction?
I don't know. At the time, I kind of just took it as JJ was there, so he was kind of just, doing his nosy. But fuck knows where this is going to go, because both Chris and I said, well, that's Jericho out there in our circle, when they done that wee promo at Revolution.
At the pay-per-view, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I said that. I think you said that.
I said, well, that's Jericho, and you went, yup.
Did I?
Yeah, you did not say it.
I'm going to go back and check the actual discussion that was had. Sorry, just keep talking.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just like it just seemed really weird the fact that they brought Arn Anderson in for the segment if there was nothing going to be involved with him. Oh, there it is, right there on their screen. It's confirmed.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
You liar.
I didn't say it was a liar. I just can't remember saying that.
Sounds like something a liar would say.
Can I just say I don't have it on my chat?
Mm.
I have, yeah.
Because you deleted it.
I say I have here. Jericho is getting papped out. Yup.
I know you showed me it, but I can't see it. And
Because then I responded with, I think they know it's my birthday on Wednesday. Laughing face, laughing face.
Certainly Guevara.
Ah, yeah, I found it. Yes, I did agree. I apologise, I am wrong.
Well, there you go.
And on that note,
I have been Chris Motherfucking Hughes.
I have been the Griz.
I've had a really good birthday.
I was wrong. Sorry, I should have said I have been Chris Motherfucking Wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh!
See?
He was wrong.
Honk, honk, honk.
Remember, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Heel Podcast. And also, don't forget, you can hear our archives on the World Wide Web at heelpodcast.co.uk. Well, that's all, folks. So long. Have a good day.